I've had weird dreams before. A lot of them. A lot of weird dreams. I could fill this entire journal with the weird dreams that I've had, but this one is the worst yet. Asuriel was there, and I didn't even realize I was dreaming to begin with. But then when I woke up, I had demonic runes on my arm, and Asuriel read them for me, and something to do with Riverax. I had nothing to do with that devil, and yet it seems to just latched onto me. I am so scared. More scared than I've ever been. I've fought monsters, witches. I've seen everything be taken away from me, but I've never been more scared than I am right now. I just want this to all be over.
Everything is fine. We had more trouble with a witch than we did with the giant hulking monstrosity. Nobody got hurt, nobody died. Well, hurt's a strong word to say nobody was. Lorelei got stabbed through the gut and everybody's worse for wear. But she's still walking. Asuriel's got a bit of a bad leg now. And I do still have one arm. It did not take the other arm, which is always a good thing. Between everything happening, and we made it out, and everything's okay now. Nobody's attacking us, but pray to Avacyn. When I heard Lorelei screaming during her surgery, that just fucking. Oh, it's one thing to hear it when you're fighting something. Everybody screams, everybody cries out. That's normal, but when you hear it just walking down the street, it makes my heart run, race, beat in all kinds of weird ways. I feel like you should fight something, but there's nothing there to fight. She made it out okay. She's recovering now. And the doctor said that he wants to replace my arm. Fix it. I don't know how that's going to work. If it's going to work, and how many laws of Avacyn we're going to break along the way, but it has to be done. Can't be a forge master with one arm. So, everybody's agreed to come. Cillian's staying to watch the craft. See how this goes. And one big point, before I die from shock and blood loss, is Amrita once again coming to me, saying that she killed Lorelei, which is a bit much to hold on to, or well, no, but Lorelei's back, Amrita's still here, and it seems like Amrita wants nothing more than to get away from everybody, but we're in this together. And there ain't many people we find that you trust. And even if they're a werewolf, good friends are hard to come by, and I consider her a good friend. So I trust her as much as I trust anybody else. And I think she just needs to accept that we still trust her as well.
It's a trust that Acrio has to second guess momentarily as he's seated in this chair in Dr. Mueller's private side room full of alchemical components, watching as this leather-clad, beak-masked individual directs Amrita over tools and chemicals, aromas, and toxins that Acrio has never even witnessed before, and the ease with which she picks up and seems to understand what's going on while he is completely in the dark. There is much trust going on, and still not sure if it's entirely the best idea. All of you have been assembled with the exception of Cillian for the moment. He will be on his way shortly. Val and Amrita both directed to assist Dr. Mueller with his alchemical process, while Asuriel and Lorelei are there to observe to an extent and witness if need be. Going over the various things in place, the severed arm is sitting in kind of this, like these two cradles holding it up, as there's an array of chemicals and tubes and little burners going. The smell in here is pretty intense, and the doctor goes over the open severed flesh and brushes on several different colored liquids, fluids.
While the doctor's close and preparing like the arm, I'm gonna lean in and be like, "Is it too late to go to the bathroom?"
Saying to him,
"Yeah, is it too late to go to the bathroom?"
Immediately checks him for anesthesia. Yep.
the weird reflective
Jokingly.
goggles flickering with the candlelight in this room just angled toward you with the beak mask like right up next to your face. I went before. Did you?
Yeah, but you know that they're shut too.
I had hoped, I was promised paralytics, but those were not yet delivered. I'll have to do this the old-fashioned way.
What? By who? What do you even mean?
Turns to you, the Vistani. The other one, not Val.
Rita's gonna think about that for a second because she doesn't remember that being said. Like specifically,
There were creatures he was supposed to have harvested and was going to purchase. Has not yet been delivered. I should have questioned it more.
Rita bites her tongue, but says nothing else. But it's like, oh, that son of a bitch.
All right, let's get this over with.
Let us begin. Would the ladies please bind him?
Okay.
There are a number of buckles and straps on the chair where he's sitting that you are welcome to utilize.
We'll make sure you're safe, Acrio.
Does not respond to Asuriel. As he was about to like talk to her, he like looks at her. Several thoughts run through his mind, and he just looks straight forward.
Yeah, I'm gonna just help buckle him down. This is not good.
Yeah, just gonna assume he's nervous.
Do we have like a piece of leather or anything that Acrio could bite down on though?
Mm-hmm.
Give me a
Yeah,
dagger.
Val's just gotta come in from the side and just gotta
Just like off.
like gesture to the piece of leather and then like point to Acrio to kind of open his mouth.
You have one hand, you can't do that. One arm.
It's floating around.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he'll bite the leather.
Just gives him a thumbs up and kind of pats his shoulder. It's kind of, you got this demeanor.
I'm gonna look at Lorelei, and then I'm gonna look at the helmet next to me, my helmet. And is my other arm still free, or is it strapped down now?
Probably in the
You can
process
do
of
something
being-
before it gets strapped down.
Yeah, I'm just if my arm isn't strapped down yet, I'm gonna grab my helmet, put it over my head. Somebody has to look at me while I'm biting the leather and just full armor. Acrio's hiding in his helmet while this happens, and he lets his arm get strapped down.
Are you sure it's probably gonna be really loud in there if you start screaming?
He's a monolith now.
Just gritting his teeth down on this leather strap full of previous bite marks as well. Across the little village of Silburn, what is Cillian doing in the graph?
He's sort of slowly walking around it. His mind isn't really in it, but he just realized that before it might become a bigger problem, you should at least talk to some woken spirits.
Mm-hmm.
Recently woken spirits. So he's just trying to listen out for them. He sent Reagan to watch over. So,
Yep.
Yeah.
Pretty decent.
yeehaw.
You can't make direct contact, but you can feel a sense of unease. Like there's not really any woken geists here, but they're all, those that are close enough are agitated.
Hi there. I don't mean to disturb too much. I'll be out of your hair before too long. I just wanted to let you know that everything will be all right. There is much need to worry. Of course, I understand that. And it's hard to have faith. It's hard to look forward since you don't really even understand what is happening to you or why you're still here. You'll have someone on your side. And I will be back. I know you're angry. I would be too. Just hang on a little longer. And everything will be right again. As he's just slowly sort of putting together, it's almost like an altar, but in a bit of a more Vistani way. So some random stuff there, just to align spiritual magic and stuff. So it's just creating a little bit just outside of the graph, and just wants to spread calmness for like, let's say 30 minutes, and then he'll head over to
During this time, you hear this grinding, and it's almost less hearing it and more like you can almost feel it in your feet, that vibration under the earth. It's not consistent, it comes in waves. You feel it for a minute and then it's kind of gone again.
Yeah, he tries to ignore it for now. He's too self-preserving to, I don't know, go into the graph and stuff. So just stay here for 30 minutes. If the rumblings get worse, we'll try to, I guess, notice and tell, what's she called again? The priestess?
Renford?
Renford, yes. But for now, it just seems normal because we're still waiting to kill these things.
Before you were able to fully complete this intention, this little altar of alignment. You feel a brush on your shoulder, real enough for you, but you recognize it without even looking as being Reigen. It's time. They're working on it now. Figured you'd want to know.
I do. Yeah. It'd be kind of hypocritical for me not to show up after being so angry at Amrita the first time. I've never really minded being a hypocrite, but I don't know. I guess I'll try a little.
This place gives me the creeps.
Can you sense them? They're not really appearing, just waiting.
Don't think they're really up yet. They know something's going on. I don't think they understand it.
Me neither. I was just trying to extend their sleep for at least till tomorrow night, when we take care of these things and they can rest easily again. You know what trouble guys can cause.
Don't we always? This whole place is on a precipice. This town doesn't know what's coming. Everything's about to change and they don't know why, but they can feel it. I think even the living can feel it.
Change is more powerful than we think. I mean, it's an
And more dangerous.
Yeah, definitely. Speaking of change, I should see my friend getting his arm reattached.
Yeah, you should.
Are you jealous, Rick?
Just getting contemplative, I think.
I'm sorry we haven't talked as much.
Do you know how this thing really works between you and me and them and all the family?
Nothing but theories.
Me neither. It's all I got too, but all I know is don't really remember everything of what I was when I was alive. I'm more you now. So is she. So is he. The longer we're attached, the more we become the same. We align. And then when you're gone and you join us, you'll become more like the next one. We all lose ourselves in time. So don't worry about it. We don't need to talk. I get it. We're the same.
Oh, that's a scary thought. I've always known you and them were just echoes. Just something left, something scraped from the hole. And I don't...
I was about to
just
say...
because you're an echo doesn't mean you're any less real. Just because you're something that you weren't before doesn't mean you aren't here now. And that's worth something, so don't go speaking about yourself like you're not your own. You are.
Every time you shout into a cave, you hear the echo comes back. Then that bounces off another wall, comes back again. It's a little softer each time, ain't it?
I mean, we're getting to the end, Reigen. I don't know what's going to happen to you when I'm gone. Hopefully you'll just be gone as well.
I've heard that from several other great nephews. Almost wished I had heard it from a son once, but that didn't happen. You'll hear it someday too, I think. Coming to an end. Yeah, right.
I don't look forward to it.
Call it a change. Now get. You got people.
Yeah, and I'm going. Actually, pretty fast. Like it's not just leisurely walking there. He's like wanting to get there as fast as possible.
Mm-hmm. It's relatively late in the evening. Silburn is quiet. They've got torches along the main street only. Cobblestone that's in disrepair. You find yourself almost tripping over potholes and that sort of thing. Just because the roads are so uneven here. Not well maintained at all. But you're able to rush fairly quickly to the doctor's office, knowing kind of instinctually this main drag of town, having spent a fair amount of time here getting used to it.
Mm-hmm.
The office is dark, and you would almost think it was closed if you would think no one was there. But you push the door open, and you can see that thin strip of light coming out of the side room just as the door is barely cracked.
Evening, friends. I made it. Sorry I'm late. Slowly creak the door open. We started yet?
It's a boy!
Oh, congratulations.
Acrio's just sitting there, helmet on, full armor. Just his cut sleeve is rolled up. Humor. Best way to ease the pain.
Yeah, you find Acrio strapped to this chair, everyone around him, Val and Amrita handing tools and jars and little devices to the doctor clad in black.
Intense anxiety.
Yeah, same. Maybe on the verge of tears even a little bit.
I cry.
Lorelei's like chewing at her like fingers in anxiety.
You
Acrio?
bite even harder every time you see as the doctor uses a scalpel on the end of Acrio's remaining arm and cuts strips of the flesh in this precise pattern all the way down.
Before it starts, Acrio hears a message from Reagan, specifically.
Oh, God.
I say, let her look at your face. We don't know what's going to happen.
Acrio can't really respond because he's got leather in his mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Turn towards Cillian and nod his head.
It's
Okay.
It's kind of disconcerting to see the helmet just shift toward you and nod.
Mm-hmm.
In the light, you can kind of just barely see the slit in the helmet, the eye behind it.
I place myself sort of in between Lorelei and Acrio, and then stand in front of them, slowly take off the helm, look at Acrio for a second, and then step aside.
Acrio is already, like, drenched in sweat, like, eyes wide and, like, darting back and forth, like, to the arm and then to people. He is fully not okay.
Are you leaving the helmet off, or is it just like a look and then back on?
I sort of...
Or are you taking it with you?
Take it with
No,
you.
Yoink!
I think no. I hold it. Yeah, definitely hold it.
Seeing the state of Acrio, Val would look at the professor to, kind of points at a vial of, pain medication.
Not for this. We don't know how to react.
Val gives Acrio an apologetic look. He's like,
We're here
Yeah.
for you.
Just hide in the darkness. He shuts his eyes and just waits for it to start.
The doctor has had to remove some of the effects of Silburn's cheese, this extra layer of fat that has come over your body is specifically was deposited there, and he's had to cut that out, making strips of the flesh, the skin, which he has then copied in almost the exact opposite pattern on your remaining arm, which he brings over. You're not even looking, but you can smell the chemicals and the herbs as it gets closer, and he places it just below your elbow. Getting it in place, the strips of flesh he begins to like layer onto one another. So the part that are on the lower arm, he like layers up onto your existing upper forearm, and then vice versa, so that it's got a connection point.
This is so hard. Basically done, right?
Phase 1. The rest of the party will see the silhouette of this man turn to his bench and then turn around with this syringe in the firelight, which he just like pushes the air out of until there's just a minor squirt of fluid. We continue. And he goes in toward Acrio's arm, making small punctures and then just injections of this fluid. You don't really feel it. It's like a pinprick, Acrio. It doesn't really feel like much. But then there's like it's almost a cool, it's like a minty feeling on the end of your arm. It's very odd. Like it's not quite right.
That's what 5 gum feels like.
Oh my god.
Is this just a really complicated 5 gum commercial?
Oh my
That
god.
took 29 sessions of D&D to communicate.
I didn't realize that we have
I wish we were
sponsors
sponsored
now.
by 5 Gum.
5 gum, are you
jeez.
listening?
Yep. Amrita and Val, I'm going to have you both make intelligence checks using your alchemist supplies, and vice versa.
Okay, so just alchemist supplies with
Yes.
intelligence.
Yeah, baby, finally. Woo!
Everyone, if I pass
yep,
it
there
inside,
we go.
the Cillian sort of freaking out.
Did he draw one of his Taroka cards?
Yes, and he drew 13, the broken one. Defeat, failure, and despair. The loss of something or someone important without one piece. Incomplete.
Fuck, Cillian!
He
Cillian,
didn't show
like,
it
in
to
the middle
anyone,
of the
but he's
operation.
definitely
This might
sort
be
of
a bad
freaking
time.
out.
Every time, like the slightest pinprick to even a deep incision, Acrio's like convulsing in the chair and like twisting his head as far away from the source of pain as possible. And his feet are like his boots that are normally made for mud are like scraping against the ground as they try and get traction. He does not want to be here.
Come on, darling.
Amrita
push,
and
push.
Val, both almost instinctively knowing what the doctor's going to need, even though they're not familiar with this procedure. He barely has to mention the first word of something. You've already got it, taking things as soon as he's done. There's a steam that starts to rise out of the joint and the flesh, and almost this like sizzling sound. The doctor will look to the other 2 women. Alchemy is part magic. I need mana. I need someone to channel mana right now.
Without hesitation.
What?
It doesn't really matter what spell it is, I just have to like spend.
It's not, it doesn't even have
Yeah.
to be a spell. Like you almost instinctively go to do a spell, but you're like, no, you just need to focus. How much magic are you going to put into this?
The last that I have 1 spell slot, that's all I have. And I'm going to spend it here.
First or second?
First.
First level slot, okay.
My Eyes of the Grave don't count as magic I can channel into this, right?
No.
Try, it's there.
There is a bluish gray light that starts to almost kind of just glow in the room. There's almost no source for it, but everywhere the shadows on the wall from all of you are just like deepened. And then it turns to this incredibly bright green. The doctor continues to work with various devices. He has to do something to connect the elbow joint again, reconnect that tissue more than just the outside. It's going to involve a few stitches as he's working on it. Cillian, you glance down at the card, you glance up at the doctor, and you start to see him getting a little frantic, and he reaches up with a gloved hand. Mana, I need more mana now.
She'll immediately put her hands on Acrio or wherever the fuck she needs to put her hands and start channeling.
How much can you offer?
Three sorcery points, which is the second level spell.
Okay.
Can I offer my own slots?
We'll see. With the assistance and the really good rolls of Valerie and Amrita, I'm going to have him roll with advantage. This is going to be 2d20s.
Come on, Jake Eyes. It's some eyes.
Yeah, 2 14s. The magic Asuriel channels changes the glow in this room to a vibrant white. Almost like you're staring directly into the sun for a moment. It flashes before dimming back to this almost swirling alchemical green. The shadows on the wall almost seem to like move around you, even when the figures themselves are stationary. He continues to work, and Acrio, whether you can see it or not, it feels like something bubbling under your skin. It feels like things are moving, almost like if you had a tub of worms that were crawling and weaving into each other. Would Acrio do something in this moment?
I gotta roll another sanity save.
Hey, you're
Wow.
holding steady.
As it seems like it's getting more intense, he like wrenches his eyes open, like hyperventilating. He's like, at this point, he can't breathe fast enough, so he spits out the leather and so he can breathe. And he'll just start uttering chants on his arm because he heard that he needed mana, and he will just burn everything. And he has a first, and Channel Divinity, if I can spend that.
Yeah, Channel Divinity unfortunately won't do anything for this, but...
Okay, then I have a first and a second.
So effectively that would be a first, or 2 firsts from you and Lorelei, 2 seconds from you and Asuriel.
Yeah.
Okay. When you look down at your arm and start chanting in this way, you start to see the bits of skin that have been flayed off, almost like moving toward the other part of the arm, kind of like doing this of their own accord, and starting to, you can feel them like bonding as the doctor still has part of it open at the elbow and he's stitching it together, taking another bit of fluid, just dabbing a brush and then brushing over the skin. He then takes a small pointy piece of metal, tool for scratching or picking at something, and he will start to press the ends of your fingers just to see if there's any reaction. And you don't feel anything, Acrio. There's almost like a phantom feeling. Like you see it and you're like, you want there to be something there, but you're just watching it as if this was that prosthetic hand you had made, and he's just poking nerve centers and nothing is happening. As you continue to chant and just focus everything that you've got, everything you have learned from the Forge, from any angel you've ever interacted with, your teachers at the Elgid grounds, your hand suddenly grips the doctor's. Immediately, it like lets go as he almost instinctively pulls back, and you still can't quite manipulate it. It's like trying to look at an object and make it move with your mind. It doesn't really want to move anymore, but you've all seen that it is capable of movement. And slowly you regain that instinct, and you all watch as Acrio's thumb just twitches slightly.
Did you do that?
I don't know if I did that.
Try it
Keep
again.
trying.
And I'll try and still hyperventilating, like try and grasp even at the chair itself.
Your hand is palm up, and it takes a bit to rotate, but you can all see as his hand turns over and just places it on the rest of the chair. The doctor will lean in and start to kind of examine the connection points where he has twisted it, making sure nothing's going to pop out of place or come undone with that level of motion. But everything seems to hold.
Did you do it?
I think it's done.
What the fuck are you doing here, Doctor? This is fucking... You should be... That's amazing.
Maybe. Unbuckle him. Rest up. Try not to overuse it. If anything changes, let me know. And he leaves the room.
Where it's attached, is there like scarring or...
There's still... It's almost like a different color of skin because his lower part of his arm had been effectively dead for like a week. So the skin is pale and not quite full of the same color and life. So you can see where that skin comes up and then his regular alive flesh kind of comes down. There's almost like this zigzag pattern up and down his arm of discoloration.
Rita's eyes are gonna trail the doctor as he walks out of the room. Is his reaction, body-wise, look like he had expected that or not really?
I'll make an insight check.
Okay.
Does it seem like the doctor is like leaving, or like leaving to go somewhere, inside the house?
I don't know if you'd be able to tell that from walking out of the door. I mean, you could listen to him. Don't hear
Val
the
would
front
kind
door.
of like look after him to see, with him leaving, because that is a bit weird.
Amrita, you would guess his posture was reserved. That's the best you can get. It was not exuberant, as you might expect from such a success.
It reminds her of her mentor, but she puts one of the tools down after helping with it.
Acrio, as soon as everybody helps him, he just kind of sits there in the chair staring at his own hand, kind of like holding it up so that it doesn't have to sit up on its own, and just slowly opening it and closing it, and tears are just streaming down his face with a smile.
Okay, you got your arm back! I'm just gonna hug him.
Always believe a crazy old man when he does predictions.
Oh, not the arm, Asuriel, please.
Sorry.
God.
Sorry. I'm really happy for you.
Impressive,
Okay.
to say the least.
The fingers are still a little stiff. It's going to take a bit. The rigor mortis almost set in them once before. So you're going to have to readjust to that. And the elbow, there's like that has much more issue. It almost hurts to move, and there at a certain point there's almost like a little, catch or a click in it when you move it a certain way, but it does function.
Suppose that means I don't have to go back to the farm.
No,
Go
you're
home.
staying with us.
And I look at the prosthetic that I'd made, and I grab it with my other hand and wiggle it around a bit. Thank you, everybody, for coming.
Wouldn't miss you screaming like a girl for the world.
Oh, fuck off.
He didn't scream.
Coming from the one who.
They were
Yeah,
manly grunts.
I hyperventilated.
No, you were like a little piglet.
You know what? We'll chop your arm off, Cillian, and see how it feels to get it sewn back on for you.
Please do my left arm then. I want to be still able to fight.
Oh, fight, right, yeah.
Fight. That's what I was going to say. Nothing else came to mind.
Yeah.
Glad you have your arm back.
Amrita, thank you for your unnatural expertise in the alchemical. Slightly disconcerting why you're so good at that. Didn't take you for the doctor type.
Not, but as I said, there are skills that I haven't honed in on quite some time. Sometimes it's easier, but everyone has their skills.
And I don't, apparently. I was fucking useless. You all did stuff. I was just standing there.
I saw you draw a fucking card. What did it say, Cillian?
Does it matter?
I'll tell you what matters, though, considering that there's a person here willing to pay for the monsters, and somebody didn't mention anything.
I mean, I was gonna harvest it anyway. Did it really matter? I feel like I'm being attacked, alright? And I don't appreciate it.
Cillian's just like, I thought Val would say something.
I thought me, Acrio, was gonna say something. I thought Cillian was gonna say something.
Should I tell him that he has a spider above his head now or later?
What, you mean this one? And I take the
spider.
Yep.
You're fucking lying. I'm not gonna look, but you're lying.
I'm gonna use Night Terror and try and just manifest a spider that I've seen in the corner of the room.
That's horrific.
Mm-hmm.
I drew the broken one. I drew the fucking broken one, which is like one of the worst cards. There's a spider. I'm gonna burn this card and fuck you guys, okay? I'm trying to be nice.
You are very lovely, Cillian. You did great.
Make the spider disappear.
Thank you.
The
And I kiss
spider?
him on the forehead and I leave.
Lorelei, the spider you had seen like crawling down the wall, it was like black and made of shadow, but where the face would be, you've never even seen this before, but it was more like, it was like an open pit of flame.
No!
What
Did I see
the
that too?
fuck?
Just Lorelei that saw that. Okay.
Yeah, everybody, anyone who would have looked at her little magic thing there, yeah, that's what you saw.
Yeah, she looks a little nauseated.
No. Come on.
Okay, everybody, we're going home now. Asuriel, Lorelei, thank you for the spells. Cillian, thank you for your... just give me a hug.
Moral
Thanks for being
support.
here. Yeah, moral support. There we go.
For the
Bring it in,
vibes.
buddy.
You got it. Is Val still in the room?
If he saw like the doctor like leave the house, then he would have probably like followed him to see what's up with that. But if he's, just inside the house,
No, he went up the stairs. You would have
Okay.
seen him heading toward his room.
Okay. Yeah, then he would still be around. Yeah, kind of watching all of this.
Val, does this mean there's hope for you?
Taking a sheet. Maybe. I don't know.
Out. But let's go sleep, because fuck. We still have to fight things tomorrow. Do you think you can, Acrio?
As long as it doesn't take my arm off, I think we're good to go.
That'd be ironic.
Terrible. Truly, I'd have a cursed arm. That would be a great fucking thing in this campaign, is if it was just like this weird running thing where Acrio always loses his arm.
Yeah.
It's just like, this is the
Jake
fucking
takes
7th
notes.
time!
He like wakes up after a really bad fight and he's like, "Don't tell me." And we're like,
So
The hand is like crawling away, just trying to get away from him.
it keeps getting ripped off because it's sentient and it wants to leave.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. We'll see how it feels tomorrow, but you know what I'm doing first?
What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna pick up a hammer, I'm gonna pick up a pair of tongs, and I'm gonna spend the entire day near a forge.
Didn't you just say to rest? Maybe don't hit the ground running that fast?
I'll spend the day resting and then try out the new arm. Hold on.
Perhaps in the morning.
They'll
rest
just
in
kind
your
of in the
forge.
background,
Forge adjacent.
like raises up a sheet of paper, like don't let him do that.
Hey Val, maybe we can help you with your arm later, when we got some rest.
Need to steal somebody else's arm. What?
His expression. He watched all of the rest of the folks kind of interact with like a slight smile, but at the mention of that, moving up to Acrio, touches the reattached piece or like points at it, and then gestures to his entirely missing one, kind of indicating that there is nothing really to work with in this case.
It's an arm to reattach, and we don't exactly have one.
I mean, if the science could get here, I think it could get anywhere. Magic is weird.
Yeah, maybe you can make a prosthetic arm for it, like you did for yourself.
There's iron in blood, right? I can just make an arm.
You're not Edward Elric.
If only.
At the mention
No.
of like a prosthetic, Val just kind of shakes his head.
Oh, okay.
All right,
Yeah.
before everybody
Stop.
makes everybody sad, let's wrap up here. Go home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
End on a good note.
Yeah.
And we'll go to the
The Brass Bell Saloon.
Breast Bell Saloon. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Is Val heading back with them, or is he going to hang out here, where he actually lives?
No, he would. Yeah, he would like clean up, kind of get everything in order, and afterwards probably head upstairs to see how the doctor's doing.
You can find him sitting on the bed, got his hat tipped back, and he's kind of like rubbing the top of his forehead.
Yeah, he just kind of knocks to kind of make himself known. Writing, everything okay?
He doesn't look up to see what you've written. It worked. But it used too much fucking mana. You see him like grabs his mask and just like chucks it across the room. Shouldn't have taken that much. Might as well just cast a fucking spell. Might as well just have the angels do it. Looks
His
up
eyes
at you.
go wide.
You can see scruffy, unshaven face, darker skin, darker than most Vistani. The lines of his goggles are like, you can see like the indentations on his face. He's been wearing this mask for so long. I knew it would take some, but that was too much. I'm not going to get anywhere with this.
Vel moves up to him, lightly touching his arm, placing a hand on his heart to kind of indicate that, the intention is good. And after a moment, looking at his face a little bit longer, he moves over to kind of pick up the mask and holds it out to the doctor.
Reaches out and takes it. You can see him like pulling out some of the old flowers and herbs that have been in the beak, just kind of like tossing them to the side, preparing it for the next day. The best I can say is didn't take the same materials. I was able to substitute cheaper chemicals, more readily available supplies. You were good help. So was that woman, the tall one. The other two, I suppose, as well. Tell her I'll wipe her bill. You won't have to worry about it.
Taking a piece of paper, kind of writes, you can do this. You just have to keep trying.
Glances over to look at it just very briefly. Gonna take a lot of work. I need something stronger, better materials. If only I... No. But if...
Val cocks his head kind of inquiringly, kind of very clearly asking what's on his mind.
I've heard rumors. An alchemical component unlocks many avenues. Angel's blood.
Taken aback, not in the something that is, abominable or terrible, but more in like that's odd. But yeah, eventually nods.
I heard a story of an alchemist in Nephalia, Ludovic, was able to create some kind of new usages for alchemy. It's a potent element. Probably nonsense. Probably wouldn't find it anyway. Who would bleed an angel?
Nods, trying to smile, and then gesturing downstairs to indicate that he'll probably do some more, cleaning up.
Yes, that's fine. Doctor starts repacking his mask. Doesn't put it back on tonight. He is obviously ready for bed. Sets it off to one of the side tables.
Slowly nods for indicating that he appreciates seeing the actual doctor's face. So that's like the first time in like ever since you've known him.
He doesn't seem to quite register that as you're going.
Yeah, that's...
Wait, that bag you've been carrying, bring it here.
He will move up, hold it out.
Takes it, rummages around on the things you've got in there. Go back to work. I'll fix this.
Writing. What is it?
There's no organization. Half of this is useless. But
Yeah, and he just kind of nods. And yeah, then leaves downstairs.
How late would everyone be staying up? Are you like turning in pretty close to when you return?
Immediately fall asleep.
Before we head up, Lorelei's gonna kind of tug on Amrita's sleeve and then start like fumbling around in her bag for something. Like, hold on, I have a thing that I want you to look at for me. And she'll produce the vial of the blood scrapings that she took from those graves that with the thingy with the corpses that vanished and such from the top down, and I scraped some of the blood.
All right, yeah. Amrita kind of probably will walk with them to the inn, but not really feeling comfortable being in a room, not be too far. It's like, yeah, I will be at the stables, but I will examine this in the morning. I have to return that cart, and probably since Acrio's arm has to rest, I think it's best that I ask him to borrow his mules and go alone for my own purpose. But I will examine it after. And she puts it in her pocket.
I got everything I could from it. They were already about a day away when I looked. So they're probably moving pretty quick.
Yeah, it shouldn't take too long. Are you feeling all right?
Been better. You know, the night might go just as bad as the last one did, and I might end up with an even worse shape than I already am, but right now I'm okay.
I can only hope, but part of me, and like she tries not to look at where Riverax's name is on her arm, but like her eyes trail to that and like trails back to Lorelei and everything. I just cannot deny what I am seeing at this time. I only hope you can understand.
It's a lot. I hope nothing serious happens with it soon. I hope we at least have a moment of respite before it gets worse.
Who knows? Good night, Lorelei. And as she turns to go to leave, she stops, but she doesn't turn back. But she mutters, "He knows. Now."
Wait, what?
Ask Acrio yourself. And she begins to walk away.
Yeah, that tells Lorelei all she needs to know, just those words. So she sighs and starts to go to bed.
You're all able to complete a long rest over the night, reabsorbing your spent mana, resupplying and studying the things you need to.
When they wake up, Sarah's probably gonna ask Lorelei if she thinks the doctor's still open today.
Oh yeah.
Oh fuck. Yeah, your leg.
I was just going to slap a brace on that and be like, "Good to go, buddy."
I mean, I don't see why they wouldn't be open.
Okay, just worried if he was tired after yesterday.
Well, I don't think a leg would take as intensive of work as what happened yesterday.
Yeah, just making sure. I'm gonna get breakfast and go there. I hope I have enough money.
I'm just gonna recoil back into bed. I ain't moving. I feel like shit. That long rest, my exhaustion is gonzo, I hope.
As long as you are well above half hit points, yes.
I'm at full now.
Okay, cool, yeah.
Okay,
Then yeah,
so
with the long rest.
Full of my new, slightly lowered HP max, but I am at full.
Sure.
Okay.
I was at 8 with the level and con, that brought me to 15, and then with my 2 hit dice, brought me up to 30.
Your hit point maximum will increase by 1.
Oh, okay, so I'm not at full then. Oh. I'm 1 below max. I'm dying.
Should I pick my little Geist skilly now?
If you would like to. Yeah, this would be the time to do it. Reconvene and commune
What
with
about
your
the
Geist.
stats and stuff? The
Oh
cheese
yeah.
strength?
Yeah, your all of the effects of Silburn's cheese will not be there anymore.
That was 2
can I-
points, right? 2 increase, 2 decrease?
Yes.
Oh, I'm gonna miss you, 18 con.
If there's anyone else getting breakfast downstairs, Asuriel will ask one of them, do you think the cheese is okay now?
Are you asking a
That's
civilian
so-
this?
Yeah, the
No,
civilians
no,
don't
if,
fucking know
if there's
that.
any other party members downstairs.
I would still be sleeping. Sorry.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Acrio's gonna walk down, and Acrio doesn't talk to her. Sorry. Yeah, he doesn't respond.
Oh shit.
Sorry. Yeah, no, sorry. Yeah, Acrio doesn't respond. He sees her, keeps walking.
Acrio? Where are you going?
He walks out of the tavern.
She'll try and get breakfast, and after that she'll go get her leg fixed, hopefully.
How much money do you actually have?
5 gold and 8 copper. Wait.
Oh
7
yeah,
copper.
that's way more than you need for breakfast. It'd be like a half gold
Okay, yeah, nice.
for something
Yeah.
basic, especially if you're avoiding any of the cheese.
Yeah. Wait, half gold is copper, right?
No, half gold would be an electrum.
Okay, so that's how much copper?
5.
Okay, just checking. Yes. Just get the breakfast and then talk to her.
Wait, so copper is worth silver now, and copper doesn't
Yeah,
exist?
because we don't use silver.
Yeah. That I didn't know if Electrum was taking coppers, or
We're not
it was
cool enough
Electrum or
to
copper
use
was
silver.
taking silver place.
Yeah, so electrum is not really a thing either. That's why they just call them half golds, because it's basically a very impure gold that's mixed
Okay.
with other metals that they just mint into coins. And it's like, yeah, 2 of these basically worth the same as regular gold.
Okay.
But you can track it in your electrum slot on the sheet. I'm going to go over kind of the results of your guys' rolls from a couple sessions ago, actually. The doctor does not make any significant advancements. Despite it being a success and Acrio's arm is reattached, as he indicated to Val, there was a lot of mana used, more than his own scientific research had indicated would be necessary. And it works, but it doesn't lead to any successes for the potential of regrowing tissue, which is his ultimate goal. You would all hear in time, after losing contact with the Bitter Hearts, eventually they move on from Silburn and the surrounding region. The indication is that their lifestyle has not drastically changed from your all's interactions with them. While they are appreciative of the swords Acrio allowed them to keep from the forge, in the back of his mind he knows that people have probably been robbed at blade point using his own swords. And whether or not he accepts how necessary that is for these people to survive, it's kind of up to him. They never find a place to really settle and grow anything. Their somewhat leech-like existence continues, but the people themselves don't ever fully die out. The tribe of Bitter Hearts, the people from this destroyed town, continue on. The Yawns also eventually have to move on from Silburn. They're there for a while, but once people start to recognize who they are and the connections that they were, the events of Korsava continue to kind of haunt this family through their own doings or simply the bad blood people have with the father causing problems for the rest of his family. Eventually you probably lose track of them as well. Just perhaps they had to change their name just to remain anonymous, because Korsava and their involvement with the Veiled hangs over them like a shadow, like a dark cloud. After the cheese and the milk and everything in Korsava turn, it only can be, regular. There's no magical components. There's no weird cult-like origin to it. People start to act a little more normal. You hear less mooing around town. As a result, however, things become a little more or a little less prosperous. Things are less easy in Silburn. People have to work harder. They're Stensian, so it comes naturally. The Cathars in this area, though, specifically become a little more fatalistic, a little more like they start to understand that they're a figurehead, they're a symbol, they're not really protecting anyone from the vampires. There's a sense, if you talk to them, less like they're protecting and more like they're making people believe they're protecting, because at any minute vampires could come in, the Markovs could attack or just take anyone they want, and there's really nothing the Cathars can do about it. The tower doesn't really continue to degrade, but it never really gets restored either. There's just a very fatalistic sense of this is all going to end someday. We're here because we were told to be, not because it's worth anything. However, one bright spot in all of this is the children you had saved from the witch in the Sumberwald grow up with as decent a life as they can. It's probably no better than it would have been in Gulst, no better than it could have been in Korsava, but they are well taken care of. Some of them, like you had seen, get involved with the church. There's a little choir boy. I suspect maybe one of them even grows up to be a Cathar. Probably doesn't return to Stensia. But their fate has been drastically altered from what it was when you found them underground in the forest, potentially on the menu of a witch and her coven. Yeah, Casper will eventually arrange for a coach to take Myra south through Korsava, across the Hofsettle Pass and the mountains into Lamholt to meet up with Vistani stationed and waiting there. The Lady Amamar accepting her with open arms, having foreseen and gathered intentions for her. Those will have to be revealed if you ever run into those Vistani again. But during her travels, Myra does pick up little trinkets and keepsakes and things to put on this little beaded bracelet. Little memories of the places she has been.
Yay. That made me so happy. Yeah, Cillian and her have like an evening together before she.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And the Vistani have ways of keeping in touch with other families. Andre seems to have some means of utilizing animal messengers and that sort of thing, so you can keep in touch with notes and that sort of thing as well, even over distance.
Mm-hmm. I do.
Samantha, the barmaid, Lorelei, you're able to not cure, because there really is no cure for her affliction, but offer some advice, some natural remedies that you've picked up living in the wilds that you're not sure if the doctor had ever considered, or maybe he just thinks they're too primitive, but you offer what you can. Cooper is busy, and eventually he actually will basically hire Samantha, his own niece by marriage, to look after her aunt, his wife, because she needs more care than he is able to offer. And Samantha also kind of has to watch Big Tuck, though most of the town takes on a lot of that as well. Keeping an eye on him, and from this moment on, you don't hear any rumors of large cow-shaped things in the corn. Samantha has a pretty decent life living out at the Hillcrest, estate and everything like that. It's obviously hard work looking after people who need that kind of care, but you've got the impression that she has the right demeanor for it.
Yay. I'm happy for it.
But before you all have a chance to move on, there is still at least one more task that you have agreed to do. So you have a day. You know you will not be able to draw out these creatures in the graph until night falls. So I know Amrita is going to strap the mules down to the second cart that was collected on the road, the one with the Yon's family belongings, and take it over to them. Does anybody else have anything they want to do in preparation before the trying to lure out some beasts in the night?
While Lorelei is sleeping, I'm going to rob her of her weapon. I am slipping in, asking her how she's doing, casually picking up the flail.
Silver flail.
Yeah, slipping that to my side, telling her to get a lot of rest. Thank you for
Fucking
your
injured.
help.
I'm not going to stop you.
Oh, yeah, well, it's a surprise.
Okay.
It's a surprise.
It's definitely a surprise.
And then I'll slip out and go find, hopefully, the town forge.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big rock.
Big rock.
Asuriel, the doctor, it's difficult to tell. It seems like he's breathing slowly, probably level of exhaustion after everything he's been through, but he's wearing the mask and his full getup, and it's very hard to discern, make out anything behind that. It's just a barrier between him and the rest of the world, both from diseases and also insights into him. But he will just basically look over your leg. You're still able to walk on it, and he will prescribe basically keeping in a splint for about a week or two and not overexerting it. Should be fine after that. It'll heal on its own. It's not serious.
Okay, thank you so much. How much do I owe you?
He'll lean in. Can you get that Vistani to follow through on the agreement we had? I'll still pay.
Oh, the anesthetic? I think we were doing that today, so yeah, I can ask him.
Excellent. Sits back in his chair. Then we'll call it even.
Okay, thank you so much. And thank you for getting Acrio his arm back too.
I'm as glad it worked as anyone.
She'll give him a smile and wave and plop towards the church, I guess, since
He just leans forward and goes back to his paperwork. As you're leaving the doctor's office, you can see, heading in the opposite direction of the church, Amrita sitting on the front of the wagon, directing these mules down the street. It's difficult to move around puddles and broken bits of the road without getting a wheel stuck in them.
Oh, hey, Amrita, where are you going?
Running my morning errand, as I said.
Oh, okay. We're fighting the worms in the grass later, right?
Yes. I think...
Someone on the street is like, wait, what? Did she say what?
Tiny worms. There's just too many of them.
Smooth as silk.
This one's been drinking.
Make a charisma check. Make a deception check.
Oh, God.
Decent of those, right?
You're gonna incite mass panic.
Ursula,
just
round
before
2.
this happens, even what I was planning to do was spread a little white light that mostly through Priestess Renford. Never mind. That like church is off limits tonight. That's what I'm doing.
The person who had been like leading a cow through the street, you're not sure exactly what for, but he's just moving it through and hears you say kind of stumble through this, was like, you're a fisherman, huh? Collecting worms, it's good bait. There's a place up in the mountains, a little stream up there, and you gotta avoid the vampire areas, obviously. Steer clear of that, and there's the bandits too. You might not want to head that way at all, honestly. Never mind, forget I said anything. Enjoy your fishing, and then moves on.
Thank
Hey,
you.
Will.
But yeah,
Hey,
Amrita just like stares at Asuriel. It's like, get back to the tavern and see if those other two have waken up. And by that I mean Lorelei and Cillian.
Oh, okay. Limp back towards the tavern.
Yeah, shakes her head and goes back to moving this cart and just like curses it, just like, how the fuck does this Cathar steer this thing?
Yeah, mules are difficult to control if you don't know how to motivate them.
Yep, she will jump down then and go to the door for whoever might be outside.
Yeah, there's nobody outside at the moment that you can see.
Knocks on the door.
Within a couple moments, it opens up and Dimitri kind of like leans in the door frame. Morning.
Morning.
It's weird because you're a couple steps down, but you're still almost eye level with him.
Let's cut to the chase. I brought back your supplies. There's other questions I would like to know in exchange.
Such as?
She just like inhales but doesn't back down and just continues to stare at him. Was your father the only one seeking me out, or were there other members of the Veiled that were trying to find me?
I don't think so. My father was looking for you for a very specific reason. Your kind of like looks down the street. Particular affliction. As far as I know, it had nothing to do with the Veiled or anything else.
What about the house and the people that were in it in the fire? If your father was using people to bring back the devil, did he use them in that process?
Talking about your own parents?
She doesn't say anything, but like she just furrows her brow and just anger. Just that face reminds her so much of his dad.
He does have almost the exact same like beard just on the chin, like very properly trimmed, no mustache or even really a goatee, but it just follows the edge of his jawline the same way the elder Jan had kept his a little longer, and it was gray, but very similar style, and just the facial features, the eyes specifically, so much the same of what you had seen in that moment when you tore his throat out. I guess we are even in a sense. My father killed yours, you killed mine. Glorious little merry-go-round we're on, isn't it?
I suppose it is. I want to know who told your father. A name. Who would have known where I was?
That I couldn't tell you. He had a lot of contacts. I don't think your parents had anything to do with Reaverax. Even my father wasn't involved with bringing him into the world. That was other elements. He had a different... Let's just say he was a different spoke in that wheel.
Your mother spoke of that vagabond he hired as well, Full-Finger Fabian. Would he know something if I found him?
Maybe. He's a piece of shit, but he knows more than he should.
Taking out a piece of paper, Rita writes something down. She writes her mentor's first name and like closes the thing. While I still don't like what your father did, and I don't regret killing him, since we're even, this person might be able to help your sister. And I'd get out of Silburn as quick as possible, as a warning. I hear that the man in charge of this place knows that there's wolves within the gates. Can't have two in the same place now, can we?
Takes the paper between his first two fingers, doesn't unfold it to look at it, but just keeps looking at you. Is this where we get off the merry-go-round? Because I'm always up for another rotation.
She spits in his face. I never want to see your face again.
Yeah, we'll see. Steps back in, closes the door.
Takes the mules off the carts and then just begins to walk back to the stables and then to the tavern to examine that blood.
As you do, you hear this. It sounds like a bird that you're familiar with, but haven't really heard in the Silburn area. Just kind of this whistling sound, and you hear it again, and you realize it's not a bird, it's someone imitating a bird.
Yeah, I'm gonna look around.
You look around, you still have the third eye covered, obviously this is a public street, kind of sniff the air, and you catch the smell of that familiar scent of the person that was kept in a cell next to you under the Jan's mansion for that one night.
Oh my god.
I looked off the fucking face.
Oh my god, yeah, dude. Is she freaking looking out the window, or is there someone looking?
You look in the windows first, but you don't see anyone. You look up and down the street, and you catch around the corner of the house this little bit of movement tucking behind the corner.
I'm gonna quietly move over there.
As you round the corner,
Ooh.
although she's not seated in this moment, she's kind of just up against the back wall of this brick structure. half timbered on the upper part of the building. It's kind of this shadowy alley that she's in.
It's you, the one who was weeping through the walls.
Well, I'm sorry that was our introduction. Didn't really want to be heard that way. Shouldn't have heard that. But yes, we did meet in a fashion.
Do you have a similar opinion like your brother and your father, or a different mindset given your own circumstances?
I think we all have our own opinions. We're all our own people, aren't we? My brother's really not all as bad as you think. He's just doing what he thinks he needs to keep Mother and I safe. Try not to cross him, okay?
Does it look like she has a concern in her voice when she's saying this, or she's being genuine about this?
Make an insight check. She's like 14 years old. There's definitely a little concern in her face because she's talking to somebody who's like over 6 feet tall and much older than her. There's a little bit of concern, but she's trying to be as confident as she can.
I wouldn't worry about that. You won't see me anymore, and hopefully I won't see your brother anymore either.
Yeah, that'd probably be best. But before you go, we are similar, aren't we?
She almost finds herself like stuck, choked up, not knowing what to say, but gauging. Would she be able to tell that she looks about as young as what Amrita was herself, or no?
I mean, that's up to you. If you see that, if Amrita would see that in her, then sure.
Yeah, if there's like some kind of look in her eyes that's fearful, it's just like, people are different, but in some ways there can be similarities. But in the end, we all travel different paths. But that doesn't mean that we're not too different, I suppose.
How do you manage? Do you just let it happen?
I've come to realize that the longer I ignore it sometimes, it can be harder to control it, but the more you balance it out, and as long as there's no one else around you, you'll be able to get a hang of it. I also had help in the process, but that was a long time ago, and perhaps somebody else out there could help you.
It was easier when there were more like me. Didn't have to be afraid of everyone. It was Ludo and his teacher, I guess. They're the ones that changed me. I think they wanted to have something on my father, keep themselves safe. But hunting with them, it was like being free. And then he found out, and well, you know how he dealt with it. That's the best way I think he knew how to handle it.
You could always leave, though on your own it might be harder. But you could manage. Those two, I will tell you, they are still alive. Traveling, I think. I don't know where they are.
It's strange. Part of me feels like there's family out there in the woods with the wolves. Then I've got my own family here, and I don't know which one to trust.
She gets like this look on her face and like bites her lip, and it's like, where do you think your family plans to go from here?
I don't know. They don't really tell me much. I think they talk about things and I try to listen. I can hear when they don't think I am, but I think they're scared.
I hate you, Jacob, I say.
Would it be easier for them and for me if I tried to get to Kessig and meet up with other people who could show me how I'm supposed to live? Just let them be, let them go? Could you just abandon your family?
In the end, it comes down to two things. And she kind of just kneels down and like looks at this young girl and everything. You have people that sometimes the truth is really hard to tell them that, or they don't want to accept it. And then there's other ones that, for some reason, make it easier. But if you feel the need to keep them safe and that you care about them, it is probably easier to go. Or you can continue to go on being around them. But at a consequence of the feel of silver. In the end, you have to think, do they still consider you, or do they forget? It's complicated, but if you were to go to Kessig, maybe you could seek out Ludo and his teacher. They could help you. They seem to have a thing of it. Or the name that I wrote on the slip of paper that I gave your brother. I could tell it to you.
Was he like we are? Or she? I guess I don't want to assume. I don't want to metagame.
No, he wasn't.
But he knew how to make it better? Make it easier?
In a sense, yes. You seek him out, you might be able to get the help you need. At least he did it for me, I'm sure. Tell him I sent you. Amrita Mablethorne sent you, and I'm sure he will assist you. Garrett,
you know where he is?
Last I had seen him, he was in Lamholt. There's no telling where he is now.
What was his name?
Garrick. If you find him, he might be able to help you.
Name sounds familiar almost. But I don't know why. I don't blame you for killing my dad. I know he did a lot of things that probably deserved it. For what it's worth, try to tell Dimitri not to do anything stupid.
I never did catch your name.
Oh, it's Stella.
Well, Stella, it is rather unfortunate it came to that, but may the perhaps angels or whatever anymore helps your family to an extent. But in the end, you're the only one that can decide what to do and where to go.
She just nods. Doesn't seem... She's reticent, but nods.
Yep. Marita's just gonna awkwardly get up and then just leave and not look back.
You hear her move just up to the edge of the corner. And she says, I know you said you didn't want to see us again, but I kind of hope we do meet, Amrita. And it just moves back around. Anyone else? Yes, doing anything until you convene at the graph.
Okay. I'm gonna go beat up Casper for some silver.
I mean, you can meet with him, but
Do we have? Wait, do I still have some silver? What?
I think you kept some silver from the construction of the dual swords.
It didn't
But
use it all.
That's just regular, not from the moon silver.
How the fuck do we get moon silver? It's from the fucking moon. How do we get up there and be like,
Spelljammer
hey,
time.
can I have
Moon
some
silver, as the people on Innistrad understand it, is shards of the moon that have fallen to the surface of the world, and there's a noticeable difference in it. Like, it's still silver, but it's also not quite the same silver as you just generally find. Like, they're both special, but stuff that they believe has fallen from the moon is like extra special.
Okay, then I'm not stealing her moon silver flail because I can't even begin to touch that. I steal all of her armor instead.
Okay. Definitely not wearing it. So
Yeah, while she's not wearing it, just in bed resting. People can't wear armor to bed.
What does she wear? Leather?
Yeah.
Oh, you wear leather armor?
Yeah. Because my dex is decent enough to make it work.
Ugh.
Or a plus 3 dex.
I'm gonna.
I know, so natural. None of your metal bullshit. What are you gonna do about it?
I can't afford to buy you half plate, but I want to.
I'm not fucking wearing half plate.
No, not half plate. Breastplate.
I feel like a breastplate might even end up worse than my current, based on my dex.
Oh god.
Shut up.
What's your
Plus
AC?
Oh, my AC. Well, my dex is plus 3, so with leather that makes it a 14.
Oh yeah, breastplate would still be better. It'd be 16.
Oh
And then
well.
you could have a shield on top, but
Shit, be expensive. Anyway.
Yeah. Oh. Bloody.
No, I'll just steal her armor.
then what does Acrio want to do with Lorelei's armor, which he totally just like switched out real quick?
Yeah. Just like, hey, back. Hi, how's it going? Feeling better? Okay. Just slip that into my pocket. I am upgrading it.
Okay.
To
Upgrades,
fine.
people.
So.
Do you have leatherworkers tools proficiency?
Shut the fuck up. Why am
my
I
God.
so weak and pathetic and useless? Ah! How much does fucking medium armor cost? 1 second. All you do that. Do somebody else's role play. I'm looking shit.
Okay.
Okay.
He's gonna find a way.
I'm gonna make this work. Yeah, Lorelei, at some point, I think, after she's decided that she's rested enough, she's not gonna like leave the tavern, but she's just gonna like float around, and she's gonna try and find where Cillian is, if he's around. Just try and like, she looks super shifty. Like she's definitely got something on her mind.
He'll probably still be in his room.
Yeah, she'll knock. Like,
Wait,
"Hello?"
I'm not dressed. 2 seconds.
Okay.
And I open the door, completely undressed still, and like still putting my things on. Yeah.
You can sew, right?
Yeah.
Cool. And I just walk in and close the door behind me. And because of I got like messed up, I imagine there's like serious rips in my clothing. And so I'm just gonna like hand him my
I mean, like the whole center part of the dress in the guttural region is torn open.
Yeah, I'm just gonna like hold it and just like point at it like, can you fix this for me?
I probably can. I could ask for some pointers from my great aunt She was amazing at this stuff, but I picked up enough.
Oh, well, I mean, it doesn't have to be a great job, just not a hole.
Yeah, I can make it not a hole.
Awesome.
And I just start working on it.
And while he's working on it, she's like hovering over him. She's like, so, how you been?
Weird. Everything's weird.
Yeah.
Glad that Akrio's got his arm back.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's great.
This is a big fucking hole. What the fuck? Okay.
Yeah, I got stabbed. I got really stabbed.
Okay, I've got fabric, but it's gonna be slightly different color. Is that all right?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to, like, I don't know, cut some stuff off the back, there's a lot of frills in the back. If you just want to, like, reattach, I don't care. I don't have as much attachment to the dress as I do to the cloak, so.
So, Acrio.
Yeah, he got his arm back.
Mm-hmm.
What are you getting at?
You know what I'm getting at.
No, I don't.
Come on.
I don't know what you're getting at.
Okay, let me do an impression of you while you look at him, okay?
I do not. That is incorrect. That is inaccurate. I do not look like that.
Okay, maybe I'm
exaggerating.
Exaggerating, thank you. But look, I'm not very. I know some things about people. One thing I know is when. I don't know. You really don't think so?
You're seeing things that aren't there. There's nothing there. There's nothing there. Okay. Why would I have any kind of feeling like that towards someone like him? Like, that's, talk about punching above my weight. Goodness gracious,
because
Cillian.
You have this gigantic capability of love, and since you don't give it to yourself, you have to give it to someone else, and I think it's him for now.
Hold on, I think I just got stabbed again.
I try my best.
That's awful.
Look, I'm being a dick, of course.
Yes.
But I'm being genuine if you ever want some help or something. Just think about it. You don't have to admit it to me. I know I'm not the first person you'd stab to, but I have experience with this kind of stuff, and I think I know Acrio a bit.
I'll do you a trade. How's this?
Sure.
I'll admit something to you, and I want you to admit something to me. How's that?
Sounds fair.
Okay. I think he is very talented, and he is a ray of sunshine. And far too good for me. There. Happy?
Very. As long as you can admit it to yourself.
Of course I can admit it to myself. I have to deal with her on a daily basis.
That would suck. Damn.
Yeah. Right. Now, what I was getting to. Do you remember back in Korsava when we were, like, fighting under that dude's manor with the spiders? You really hated it.
Why?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I remember, Lorelei.
Look, it's been on my mind ever since, but you were talking as if you had a kid. And I just wanted to, I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have said anything. I can
trade
go.
is a trade. Yeah, I do.
Wouldn't have taken you for the type. Genuinely.
Oh, I'm not. It sort of wasn't supposed to happen.
Well, that's the world, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I'm not really a father, am I? Because I'm not there. So.
Are they okay?
I hope so. I haven't spoken to them in years.
Why? You just get scared?
Yeah, let's call it that. Look, you know me. But could you imagine me as a father? No. So I'm just not there. Okay?
Okay. I had to ask because I was worried that, you know, if something happened, then there'd be another kid out there without a dad. And that stings.
Do you think less of me?
No, not at all. I have no right to judge anyone for what they do.
I mean, you should. Judging is fun.
It's not. It's really not.
I mean, thinking about other people's misery? Yeah. Take your mind out of yours.
No. To me, judging just makes me... Judging inherently to me seems like you feel like you're above them, and I can't look at myself like that.
I mean, yeah. Liv. Her name's Liv.
Oh. That's sweet. How old would she be now?
Bit over 3.
Wow. Recent.
Mm-hmm. I haven't seen her since she was 9 months, around there.
Wow. I kind of had a kid that I was looking after at one point.
You did?
Yeah.
You do seem like the type, let me just say.
Yeah. Somehow that doesn't surprise me. He was... I don't know how old he was, but he was a young adult-ish, kind of. I'd guess maybe 16. He couldn't talk, so I just... Well, he could to some degree, but not enough to tell me how old he was. I just had to guess looking at him. You would have hated him.
I mean, I sort of hate everyone.
He had a giant spider as a pet.
Okay, I would have hated him.
Yeah.
A giant spider?
Yeah.
As a pet?
Yeah, he used to wear it like a backpack. It's crazy. Yeah, that kid was wild. It's the reason I came to Corsica, actually. He just showed up around me, and I was like, what are you doing here? He just wouldn't leave me alone, so I thought if I could pack him off to someone in civilization, he'd probably do better than I would. And then he disappeared, probably dead. So, yeah, shows how much I know.
Listen.
Every single day. There's not a day goes by that I don't think about every single person that I've lost. Not a single day. Not a single hour. It's tiring.
Yeah, me too.
I won't tell anyone, by the way. Until you ever want to, if you ever want to. This is...
I mean, it's not really... Well, it was. I'll tell them. I think Amrita is warming up to me again, so...
Yeah, she's hard to read.
Lorelei can definitely tell there is something on his mind he wants to talk about, but doesn't yet.
Well, I'll elbow him.
Stitching away.
Do you want me to give up something else to trade for?
There's just some things you don't need to know. Because it doesn't matter.
No one needs to know anything. Nothing matters. Did you need to know that I had a kid that I looked after? No, because it doesn't matter. But I told you anyway. It's connection. That's what matters here, because I get the impression you don't think that highly of me. And I want to fix that.
Yeah.
You don't have to lie. You don't have to lie. I know.
Yeah,
I was
gonna, but
I know. Okay, not many
I
people
like having
do.
you around. That's one thing.
That's something. I know I'm a lot. I know I'm a lot. Came in here under the pretense of getting you to fix my clothing, but I definitely was totally fine with leaving.
That is sneaky.
Just
I respect it.
Just to ask you about some kid. Like, that's shady, backhanded, uncool.
No, you deserve to know. I just don't like thinking about it all the time. Here, it's done. And it's a rough job. It's like there's times where he's like when his guy's skill is that, but it isn't right now. So it's decent. Like he remembers the movements, but it's definitely not beautiful.
Stitches are not quite as even and precise. It'll hold together, but it's not something you would take to a fashion show.
Nah, it's fine. That thing's coming up. That thing's like this is like 5 years old at this point, if I had to estimate.
We should get you some new clothes wherever we're going.
Cloak stays. Anything else is fine, but the cloak is always staying.
Are you like down for a makeover? Because I'll give you one.
Define makeover.
Like makeover, like different.
No.
All right, like make under, like same vibe, just a bit.
New clothes is where I'm gonna draw the line. Thank you.
But makeup and stuff, and like
No.
just a little less.
No.
Like make them.
No. I don't need it. It's fine.
Okay.
Besides, I'm probably gonna self-destruct in about a week, so it's pointless. Oh yeah, my arm's demons, by the way. Just thought you should know.
Your arm is demons.
Yep. I had a nightmare. I woke up. There's demonic glyphs on my arm now. I think I'm dying. So you were right. You were right. It is coming from me. And I should have left when you said.
I'm sorry for saying that.
Don't be. You were right in the end. It hurt, but you were right.
Okay. You say so. Say, Acrio, how you feel.
No. It's not like that. It's not like that.
Okay.
It's not like that at all. Just yank my dress back and I leave.
Gonna make a bunch of scales and attach them to the leather armor. Sorry, your leather armor is getting turned into medium armor with disadvantage on stealth.
Cool, thanks.
You get a whole +1 AC. Maybe two AC. 2 AC.
Yeah, +2.
Reinforced
So-
Gambison Brigandine.
Yeah, you can convert her leather armor into a full brigandine if you would like.
I will do that.
What's the stats on a brigandine?
It's the same. It's the same thing as scale mail, but it's just bigger, bulkier. There's more metal.
Yeah, it's like plates that have been like sewn together.
Oh, so okay.
Yeah.
Kind of like a samurai situation.
Yeah. But turn it into a brigandine.
Mm-hmm.
And if possible, upgrade it to 5. But I'm guessing it'll take a little while to individually hammer in
Right.
all those little studs.
Yes. Go ahead and make a Smith Tools check.
Yeah.
Oh.
Question.
Mm-hmm.
My hammer is a forging hammer, despite its oversized nature. Can I use it with my smith's tools for a +1? Or can it only be used to smith magic weapons? Because I thought about that, and I was like, can I use my magic hammer to upgrade magic weapons?
I don't know that it actually gives you a +1 on anything. I mean, you can utilize it, but it's a little big for detailed work.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know that it gives a bonus to smithing directly. because that's not in its stats. So
Yeah. Okay.
perhaps if the hammer itself has ever upgraded, it could do that.
Yeah, I'll upgrade the hammer in the future. As soon as I figure out what the fuck it's made of. Yeah, so I'll slap myself with a guidance.
I mean, it looks like it's made of rock.
Yeah, it's granite or something, but it's also made of metal. This is with strength, I'm guessing.
If you would like to be, yes.
It's
That
actually-
or
it's
I would
actually-
allow wisdom.
It's actually made of that foam that they make cosplay weapons out of, so that they're easy enough to carry.
Yes.
20.
Okay. Yeah, with a total of 20, using the guidance of the, I'm not going to say mentor, but that angelic ability that you have learned, channeled through you. Still takes all afternoon, but you are eventually able to add enough metal plating to this set of leather armor that's been tailored to fit Lorelei, that adding it to it, you're like, it's going to make it a little bulkier, but it's going to protect.
How much would this cost? The difference?
Sure, we'll go
Or
with that.
full
Yeah,
cost?
that we'll go with the difference between the two.
Okay. So that would be, what armor did you have, Robin?
Leather.
Standard leather, yeah.
Standard leather.
So a total of
Okay.
40 is the
40.
difference.
Got it. Yeah, and the entire day, this is just like therapy. He's just like fully concentrated on every little tab. His other hand, as he gets used to it, is kind of struggling, but occasionally helping out with holding the rivets in place. And it's very relaxing to him. Like, he's in a very good mood now. And
This is just physiotherapy.
yeah, whatever, like whoever's blacksmith he took over, whenever they come by and check on him, it's just like pulling somebody out of heavy sleep. It's very difficult to get him away from his work.
Yeah. Okay. Make a perception check.
Getting robbed while I do this. Perception. So that shouldn't have that, but yes, 16.
Shouldn't have the guidance on there, but yeah, still 16. It's not enough to be distracting because you are still focused, but you hear that the local blacksmith is kind of chattering away as he's working as well. You don't pick up much of it, but you just happen to notice that he mentions Cooper has put in a fairly large order for plowshares and several that needed to be repaired.
Nickname in high school.
Plowshares. If I happen to end early, can I help him?
I'm gonna say with the total of 20, it's still gonna take all afternoon.
Got it. No problem.
Like the sun's getting low behind the clouds, close to the ridge on the western side before you are like confident that it's ready, and you're thinking, yeah, it's gonna get dark soon. Best to reconvene with everyone.
Yeah, I'll just give him a few tips that casting is better than forging for shears, if he has that capability, before I leave.
Mm-hmm.
And then I make my way to everybody else with a giant hunk of armor slung over my shoulder, just happily, almost skipping through the town.
I was about to say,
Yeah.
skipping down the road. La la la.
Yeah. He's like whistling. He's cheery. He's got his hat off, hair blown in the wind. He is so happy right now. He is skipping, whistling, saying hi to people as he passes.
His arm's still kind of dead, flopping by his side.
Yeah.
Oh God.
And when he gets to the bar, before he goes to see Lorelei, he'll actually order some of his shitty family ale.
Yeah, I mean, Revito and Son, once you take a sip of it, maybe it's just because you haven't had it in so long, maybe it's just because you're in a good mood, but you drink it and you're like, not quite as shitty as you remembered. It's still beer, it's still ale, it's still kind of swill, but you know.
Yeah, and he'll just drink it, set it down. Oh, fuck you, Dad. And skip off up the stairs.
I'm literally a tank and you're not.
Yeah. Kick the door open.
Ah!
Well, I should start off by saying sorry. I stole your armor.
When? What?
Earlier. Saying hi, checking up on you, kind of stole your pack. I was going to steal
second time.
Yeah, second time. I was going to steal your flail, but turns out it's made of some very interesting material. But I did upgrade your armor.
Look at the thing slung over his shoulder.
Yeah, to be fair,
is that it?
It's a lot more metal than leather, because I don't know how to work with leather, but it will keep you alive.
Okay.
And I sling it over, and like the previously pretty light leather just like poof onto the bed.
On the bed, yeah.
Yeah.
Cillian shows up in the doorway and just smiles at Lorelei.
I just stare daggers at him. No, sir, you didn't have to do this.
Well, with everybody getting stabbed, bludgeoned, ripped apart, gotta start with somebody that can actually wear armor.
Fair point.
And seeing as Asuriel, we'll get to Asuriel.
Okay, how do I put this on? She's holding it upside down. It just looks so different. I don't know what I'm doing.
It's the exact same, just heavier.
Holy shit, this is heavier.
All right, come on. I'll help it on before we go, and I'll help her put on her armor.
Yeah, while they're doing that, Amrita's gonna be sitting downstairs. Does she have time to examine that blood before we leave? Okay.
I'm not even gonna have you roll for it, because as soon as you pop the cork on the vial, you instantly recognize the smell. It's blood, but there's a little bit of sweat in it too. And as soon as you get a whiff, it's like you just get the image in your face of this conniving, grinning, toothless face, or one tooth missing. The smell you recognize as the thief who had lured you originally to Corsiva under the employ of Ulrund Yond.
Are you fucking serious? She's gonna take out the wanted poster she has in her pocket, and then she breaks the vial like in her gloved hands, and like the blood in the glass like gets in. It's like, fuck.
I'm guessing Asuriel is back and just sitting beside Amrita, because what else was she gonna do?
She can be.
The camera just pans over to Asuriel, who we previously haven't seen there.
It's like, what's wrong?
I've made a mess, that's what. She starts to pull out the glass from her hand and like try to wipe the freaking glove. It's like, that son of a bitch.
Just try and help Amrita with the hand if Amrita will let her.
Yeah, she like awkwardly just watches with intrigue, though. It's like, I know what this blood is. They need to hurry up and get down here. Do you know where they found this?
Oh, yeah, and gonna look around this time, make sure no one's listening this time.
Yeah, Amrita's making sure it's in a low whisper after all that. It's like, where specifically? So that way I can go there after we take care of this other job.
There were 2 graves that got dug up. They were in the back of the graph. Priestess Renfort was the one who discovered it.
looking down at your wanted poster on the table, you would see that one of the charges for which he is a criminal and wanted in Shadow Grange is grave robbing and corpse trading.
Oh, that sick son of a bitch. And like the wanted poster is literally like down in front of the bottom of them, so Asuriel's able to see it, but she quickly just like puts it back in her pocket and everything.
Do you think that that's the man?
I know it's the man.
Oh.
I recognize that sleaze balls freaking. Oh, she tries to just like calm down, but just like there's an itch of what he may or may not know.
Did you meet him before?
It's because of this bastard I got lured to Corsiva. And the Ons were wanting to find me. That's a whole other ordeal, but... Oh, she just... really hot, just like stares up at the stairs, waiting for the others to hurry up.
I'll come down the stairs, eventually.
Val, at some point during the course of the day, the doctor in the midst of his work will call you over and lay the bag that you had given him on his desk in between the two of you, taking the liberty of putting a few extra pouches. You're going to need this. I can't stress enough how important it is not to rely too much on the modern, simple, quick fixes. It doesn't always work. You can't inject someone to solve a cut wound. You need, here, he holds out a little jar that's got like a gauze wrap that's like wrapped up inside it, inside this like golden liquid. Vinegar and honey, keep it soaked in that. Put that on any piercing wounds, anything that's open cuts. And he goes through, keep the four humors in mind. You want to keep things, bludgeoning wounds, you need to keep the blood flowing out of the bruise. And he kind of goes through this whole process and effectively has given you all the tools you will need to effectively utilize the healer feat.
Julio.
You will, because your bag does count as a, you can use it as a healer's kit, but you will need to restock it, so it will have the same number of charges as a healer's kit, but you can purchase items at half cost.
Oh, okay, because I already had like a healer's kit as well. So
Right, yeah, you have that, but then the way the doctors,
okay.
I believe every doctor can use their medicine bag as a healer's kit, but you will have to recharge it to use it for the healer feat. Like you can always use it to stabilize someone, no cost, no reduction in the number of charges it has. But if you're going to use it as the healer feat, you will need to keep track and then resupply, that sort of thing.
Okay. He just kind of listens to the doctor. He seems almost distracted. Like he's more listening to the doctor talking than what he's actually saying. He looks at the bag, running his hand over it, and then just quickly hugging him, grabbing the bag, and just darting out of the door. And yeah, then he's probably gonna skedaddle to the ground.
Mm-hmm. Val would see there are a row of Cathars at intervals around the little, there's a wooden fence that's kind of broken around one part of it. Then there's the old part of the graph, which is a stone stacked fence that they've added onto. And these Cathars, they're all looking inward rather than out toward the town, as well as the priestess of the local church, Renford, with her staff and the symbol of Avacyn on the end of it, a light kind of a glow in this space. You can see that they've deterred people from coming this direction. No townsfolk are in the area.
Drawing closer, trying to see if any of the others are already there, or nobody else is present at the moment.
You'll get like a shout as Acrio calls out to him.
Prooks out, kind of looking around before spotting him, then kind of just moving over.
All right, everybody's here.
Good. So, before we do this, I wanted to tell you all the story. And I go into a story about how he and his cousin Mas, who was the only other male member of his family, just sort of how they became friends. It's like, I don't know. There was like this huge rivalry between them because they were the only two male members, so they butted heads a lot, but eventually they got over that and were like friends for a year. It's a sort of story about that, and everyone gets 8 temporary hit points.
Hey, Lim Fowl.
You get those points as he describes the dick measuring contest that they had.
Amrita's face is just really not impressed. It's like, it's always something related with kinks and sex jokes with you. Every time.
We get those hit points just because we're so happy that he shut up when it's finished. It's like,
Sure,
oh,
that makes
fuck.
Yeah.
Cyril does not understand. Ah, that sounds fun. You sounded like you had a lot of fun with it.
I mean,
Jesus
yeah, I did.
Christ, Jake.
He was the only alive person who sort of was like me there.
Oh.
Real horrifying. Real quick.
Yeah, Maria just like looks at Lorelei and just like, no. One is enough.
So what is your plan?
Murder.
All right, I think Amrita's gonna scout the area to see if where they looks like they came from last time and recent movements, and try and gauge where the recent or like the longest dead bodies might have been. Maybe ask the priestess along those lines.
You'd probably want more of the bodies that are fresher.
Yeah, the fresher bodies. I'm sorry, not the whatever. My brain. Out of character. I'm like, duper. My character is smarter than me.
Yeah, make a survival check.
Okay. Hell yeah.
Woo! Okay. Firstly, you can easily find where, was it Acrio and Cillian had dug this pit and dumped a bunch of horse meat into. There's obviously disturbances there. The ground is mounded up around it. You can find there's an area of the graph kind of in the center of kind of the elm and hawthorn trees that grow around the edges, kind of an opening where there's some evidence the ground has been moved most recently, and it's not terribly far from a mausoleum that you think could maybe be a good place to be off the regular ground so that your footprints won't cause vibrations.
Yeah, she'll just point in the different directions of where we should all go and stay and watch. Otherwise, it will not work, and just kind of guides the party, just sort of stepping and everything, getting in that direction.
Do we go down into the ground of the mausoleum?
If I recall, it's an above ground mausoleum. But if I recall correctly, you guys were going to set some kind of bait, and then Lorelei was going to use decompose to start the rotting process as like a lure.
Yeah.
I think so, yes.
I believe we have a little bit of horse meat left.
Yeah, we didn't use all of it. We only used some of it.
Sure.
A singular torch in the distance.
Some blue
so the torch
rectangle
is going to be where you guys can place that, wherever you would like to have the lure. This bait that you're going to set up, you're going to want some light source. so you can have it, a torch sticking in it. Place that wherever you think you would be the most appropriate.
I'm
Alright,
going to be
guys.
at a distance and advise the others to
Yeah.
start from a distance because
I'm gonna have to get right up in there though, because decomposers touch.
yeah. All right.
I
so
mean,
I'm gonna
you can start the decomposing process and then like move away from it.
Well, yeah.
Because theoretically,
It's like-
they're not going to attack immediately.
yeah, like they would take time to
But I will
arrive.
have to be.
All right,
Where's
no,
the
I think
biggest open spot that doesn't have other bodies? Like right here, where I am, maybe?
There's back here.
yeah, I was looking back here as well because I could see beyond here. There's a tree over here.
I climbed this tree.
Okay, cool. I was going to say, these are all gravestones also. So there are definitely bodies in this area
But it
around
looks
the
like some of these
mausoleum.
are already broken. I
About-
think.
Well,
right
that's
here.
just because
oh, it's just the map.
just in a
Got
little
it.
bit of disrepair.
Yeah, there's no choice but to try.
Here seems
you know
good.
what?
Where it is right now seems good.
Yeah, just leave it there because there's either way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which tree is Cillian climbing?
No, I'm rescinding. I think I just
Oh.
want to be off the ground, like that. It can't go off the ground and eat me. So I'm just
Sure.
disrespectfully standing on a grave.
Okay.
Slab squatting on
Hoping-
it.
All right.
Like on a headstone,
Yeah, basically.
perched. Gotcha.
Now let me see. You guys put it over here, making sure nothing's in the way here. Is this? What is this?
To not play favors,
All right.
I'm gonna walk up to Amrita in the darkness, and I'm gonna rub my hands together, and then take out my hammer. And are you using your bow, Amrita?
Yeah, she's shooting from a distance.
Perfect. And I tap her weapon, and your poor hunter's bow starts to glow, and I'll cast.
Oh, maybe.
I mean, it's gonna glow as soon as I do Crimson Right.
No, it's extra glowy.
Magic weapon,
Woo!
because I don't think your bow is magical, right?
Not until I add Crimson Right to it.
Perfect.
So you can add a +1 magical bonus to your
Yep.
attack and damage.
Okay. I'm just gonna put like a 1 somewhere.
And I will hold my shield up, front and center.
All right. Let's do this.
Maybe not front and center, standing a little farther back.
So, like, Cillian has gotten off the loose earth. His movements and such won't be noticed. Amrita with the 24 definitely knows if you guys were in the mausoleum, you would also be not as noticed moving around.
Which is
If
where, by
you're
the way?
walking around on the grass, that's going to be potentially an issue. But it's up to you if you want to risk it. What was your question, Cillian?
Where is the mausoleum on this map? Can you look ping it?
Yeah, if you don't have sight beyond sight.
Nah.
Here,
Nah.
I'll move the torch temporarily. It's this big box over there.
Oh, okay.
Ah.
Yeah.
But then yeah, put that back.
All right,
Yeah,
gonna hide over there then.
Yeah, Amritas are gonna be over here in the darkness, not in the
Oh,
grass. I don't
wait,
think.
maybe we should have it right here.
Yeah, I think that's a better idea.
So that we can see it from the mausoleum.
yeah.
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 So
there.
all of our squishies can hide in the.
They
Yeah,
can
I'll
all-
just.
Yeah.
I'll be standing on a fallen gravestone. Sorry.
Yeah, basically the way it's going to work is anyone who's not inside the mausoleum on something solid is going to have to make a stealth check.
Okay.
Ooh, yeah, I'm gonna go in the mausoleum. I'm not sneaky at all. Back it up, you two.
I'm gonna just try and make a stealth
I'll
check.
just move
I'll
on.
surround them, so I'm gonna
Yeah,
go over here.
Yeah.
Oh,
I wanna like
yeah.
hold the. You can be in the mausoleum with us.
No, I think I'm stuffy enough. It's fine.
I'm standing on this little slab. of
How
wood.
is Val got a long rest, right?
I would assume so. Probably.
Yeah, so you would have gotten your level plus constitution
Oh,
back automatically, as well as if you wanted to spend any hit dice on top of that, you're able to do so. So
Yeah, I'll expend 1.
is everybody pretty
Because
well
of-
locked in?
Yeah, and
Yes.
because of this,
Any other
Mm.
questions?
Hey, you
I
can
just-
stand up here with me.
I just have a question about my rank exploit.
Mm-hmm.
I assume I'd have to activate that for initiative, or I didn't know if I had to say that before, just in case.
That's fine. You can, yeah.
Okay.
When you roll initiative, noted.
Does that get used, by the way, the exploits? Is it like a one-time thing, or is it a...
It depends. They recharge. It depends on what you took. If it has the long tag, then it's a once per day thing. If it says short, then it's once per combat.
Okay, thanks.
Just gonna prepare an ice knife for when they appear.
Everyone who is outside the graph, go ahead and give me a stealth check. Or excuse me, not outside the graph, outside the mausoleum, in the graph.
Shit.
Fuck.
Can I use my... Well, no, my hero point's not going to do shit. Fuck.
Oh, Jesus
Nice.
Christ.
Fuck! Oh, I'm so
And
pissed.
no stealth.
No!
0 stealth.
What the fuck?
Cool.
Man.
What you all see happen, like Cillian, half of his body sort of disappear. The vitiligo half is just see-through and gone for a second. So it's like half a person standing there.
Mr. Revito, I don't feel so good.
Oh no.
Yeah, basically.
It's just glitching out.
Yeah, Cillian seems momentarily distracted. Obviously, you are going to have disadvantage on the next attack roll ability check or saving throw that you make.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone else is also a little bit distracted by that when they... Acrio and Amrita both got a 7 on their stealth as they happen to just notice Cillian, and he's like partially gone. That's confusing at this moment when they're trying to focus on this mission that they've taken upon.
Probably causes Amrita to like slip on some loose dirt, and it's like, damn it.
Lorelei, where did his other half go?
I have no idea.
It comes back momentarily, but
Mm-hmm.
it was very off-putting as Lorelei has just gone to this hunk of meat that you've set out. How does it look when she uses her ability to decompose?
She just like plants her hand directly on it, and kind of similar to how her magic manifests in like the shadows kind of pull. It's like a very similar sort of way, like shadows kind of crawl from all corners of the graph to like sort of pass on the decay that's happening here to this thing, and just it's like time speeds up with it. It's like you know when you see like a time lapse of like food going rotten. It's like a bit like that, little time
Pretty
lapse
much. And there are little mushrooms that sprout out of one side of this as you're rushing back to the mausoleum to wait. Acrio, you're only like 10-15 feet away from this lure, and the smell starts to hit you, just rotten meat wafting your direction.
Uh-oh.
And all of you just have to wait. You're in position. You're hoping you didn't make too much sound. And you just have to hope that something starts to move. There's like a mole digging under the ground, just heaving to the earth, not far from this lure that you've set up. Just beneath it, the ground starts to erupt, but slowly, like in slow motion, just like pushing out near it. And you start to see these long tendril, finger-like things, but jointless, reaching up and going for it. And then this bug-like crustacean head peeks out of the ground.
He's disgusting.
Crawling up, begins devouring, and I need everyone to roll initiative.
All
I love
so
and hate
I'm
him.
getting-
There. Ooh, gross.
Oh, I'm not clicking on my token. Let's see, where's my begin the hunt?
I want one.
Amrita, you get a +2 bonus on this from your exploit, and I assume you are marking that creature as your
Yes.
quarry.
But yeah, we'll make sure to kill it, but also collect the stuff to get the money. The money.
Yes.
Oh yeah, Azura has reminded Cillian that the doctor wants this shit.
The doctor all got it.
Assuming you can harvest it without paralyzing yourself. Lorelei's the first one up.
I'm gonna try and draw its attention by dropping my little night terror here to the side of it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just gonna be like this little body, just be like meh, coming out the earth. Like I want it to look kind of like it look like it dredged up a zombie with it.
Sure.
And yeah, it has to make an intelligence save.
That's one of the
DC.
things it's really good at.
Oh. Does it work?
This creature immediately turns, and all of its tendrils start lashing out of its face at this thing as it doesn't understand why the hell it's so terrified of it.
Finally, something failed to save.
The -4. Holy shit.
Oh, payback. That's what it is. It's payback for everything that's past the save of mine. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna bonus action right now. I think I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah, Val is just gonna dart around this thing and kind of try to get its attention, as he will use his action to do a little bit of helping.
Question.
Mm-hmm,
What's it like for Val? Because he's experienced what he believes was probably a monster, but this thing is not. There's nobody actively like bleeding or torn apart around him, so how is he kind of mitigating that?
At this point, probably part is just, you know, him going on pure adrenaline that kind of keeps him focused on, you know, the task at hand. And even though this thing is, you know, huge ass creepy fucking bug, with him, you know, his mindset, he doesn't really mind getting up close and in danger. So this is just him seeing like I'm helping out these people by, you know, getting its attention, and they take it down.
Question. If he were to glance over just outside this graph, is his work complete with the little shrines he had been digging, or does he still have more to do?
His work is pretty much done.
So there's a level of completion and
Yeah, it's very
finality
much this,
in this, and
yeah.
he's like, yeah, he can do his thing now. Cool.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he gets up behind it as it's lashing out at this little shadow, almost corpse-like thing, but it's too small. You can't tell exactly what it is. It's too dark. But yeah, slap this thing a couple times to try to get it to focus, just distracted.
Watching the others handle all of that, and also not really wanting to ruin the possibility of harvesting it. For now, she'll just shoot it with her regular bow. That's a 12, right? I don't.
You
Or has
have
already been at
advantage. You have advantage because Valerie helped.
Oh, shoot.
Yes.
I was gonna cry. Like, man. All right, let's do this.
You lined up the shot. You saw it loose, and it's like it moved just so that one of its plates was like right in the line of fire, and you were like, it's just gonna hit the carapace on the back. But as soon as Val ran up and started poking at it, it turned, and the arrow pierces in between some of its scaly bug-like body.
And the 2 points right there is the begin the hunt. So I added that.
Cool.
His attention sort of split for a second. He has to focus both eyes that are both sort of in a different world right now. So he just stumbles forward, and he does seem to put weight on something that isn't there for a second, and just tries to throw almost blind one of his needles.
When you partially went transparent, and like you said, one of your eyes is almost like seeing into the ethereal plane, all of your ancestors around you, you're bombarded with this static. You guys don't have radios, so you don't know really what that is, but it's just this weird, lots of other things going on, and you don't think they're even all of your geists, but there's something else stirring. The amount of commotion, the amount of people here, the amount of disturbances, you know something is off.
Yeah, he's just silent for now. He just throws it wide.
Yep.
But as he throws it, you see as it releases his hands and his body sort of snaps back and is full again. And he has to... I don't think he can say anything yet this round, so he won't.
Sure.
And other than that, he'll just use the rest of his movements to go into next to Val.
Vistani bros. Asuriel.
Well,
Ice knife
yeah.
prepared.
Yeah, but now there's 2 people beside it, so no. Instead, gonna go for a firebolt.
Gotta go for a fireball. It's like, hold on.
Yeah,
Wait a second.
Jazz music stops.
5 fire damage.
It's fairly easy for you being well rested and healed up, and having seen the doctor, you probably got a splint on your leg now, so it feels a little better. You had this ice magic prepared to go, but then it's like too many people in the area. Quickly shift, this little white mote of fire launches out from your fingertips and hits it. It makes this, like, if you ever heard bugs being burned with like a magnifying glass, that like high-pitched screeching sound, it's kind of like that,
Oh my god.
but on a larger scale.
Demon.
Just gonna,
He's awesome.
gonna go hide behind that wall. Like, I feel kind of bad now.
Don't.
Feel bad for the mindless creature that eats corpses.
Yeah,
Corpses, Salty. Corpses.
yeah.
Continue,
A bunch
sorry.
of stuff eat corpses.
Okay, because this is a mindless creature, I'm gonna roll Vistani bros. Give me odds or evens.
Odds.
Yeah, I'll take evens.
Ooh.
Okay.
Oh dear.
Thou being the closer one, all of these like long tendrils on its face move away from that night terror thing and then whip toward you.
Ooh.
Yep.
You're going to take 4 points of poison damage, and you need to make a sanity saving throw, please.
Ew.
Sanity.
Interesting.
Oh, what?
So, Cillian, being the closest one, can see as these feelers just like slap across Valerie's scarred face, and he just starts to struggle away from them, just instinctively. It feels weird, but then you see his body just start to kind of crumple, lock up, twitch slightly, but it seems like he can't move at all out of this thing's proximity.
I'm gonna see Val getting his shit pushed in. I'm gonna run up and I'm going to batter them with my hammer. Or yeah. Okay, 12. That probably doesn't hit.
Maybe.
Add some flanking to it,
Oh yeah.
because Cillian's not paralyzed, so he counts.
14.
Yeah, counts. That will hit.
Oh, sick.
Ooh. That's good.
10 damage.
Hey.
Nice.
And then immediately hammer and anvil. So free action, nothing has to be spent. You can make an attack, Cillian, and add 1d10 to it.
Hey.
This is a martial exploit.
That's pretty good.
Hey.
Nice. Yep.
Oh.
And sneak attack just activates, right?
Yes, it does.
17. Spicy dues.
Very
Nice.
nice. Describe the
Love it.
coordination going on here.
Acrio swings his hammer just to batter it over the head, and then immediately like shoves his shield up against it and like yells for Cillian while he's holding it in place to
So-
just fucking stab it.
In that motion, as his head is like pushed back, I grab it and like stab him in the neck, and then
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's weird because it doesn't really have much of like a neck part of it, but you like grab between all the feelers that are going toward Valerie and you pull it back, and just below all the mandibles that are like reaching for Valerie, trying to bite at him, it's like stab it in, ripping just beneath them. And it
restoration.
sprays blood across this graph, kind of this thicker insectoid blood. It's not even exactly red, it's like a little darker, but it is definitely bloodied at this point.
Honestly, seeing that Night Terror fucked with it as much as it did, I think I might repeat that.
Sure.
Get a until further notice. It seemed to be managing it pretty well.
It'll take 2.
I'm not trapped in here with you. You're trapped in here with me.
It's really weird because it's right next to Acrio. You hit this thing, you see the blood splatter when Cillian drives his silver blade into it, and then suddenly from between your feet, this like miniature shadow corpse thing starts crawling up the side of the carrion crawler, and it starts to freak out. You kind of freak out momentarily because it's really weird.
Yeah, it's not nice looking at all.
Hey, demon. It's your boy.
Rip.
The brain is melting.
Oh, that's a -1 sanity save.
Don't worry about
You really think Val has it together?
it. He's completely fine.
Yeah, no mental problems at all.
Mm-hmm.
At all.
No trauma at all.
On initiative count 20.
Oh.
There it is.
Amrita, you thought your center of gravity was planted fairly well, but something about your whispering at the distraction of Cillian, you start to realize there's movement under your feet.
Oh,
One
shit.
of them
I knew
is
this was
not
gonna happen.
distracted by the smell nearly as much, as one of these things starts to break out of the ground in front of you, Amrita. At the same time, where Cillian and Acrio had been standing, one of them comes out of the ground, but Acrio, as you whip around and see it, you can see that one of its mandibles is missing. Like part of its face has been like burned off, and it is still physically bleeding. Several of its feelers are gone.
Yes!
The jar!
It worked!
So it enters the battle, starting out bloodied, already at half
yeah.
HP.
Yes. Oh, fuck.
But it is still enraged by that, and yeah, Amrita, you're up with one of these things right up in your face.
All right. You know what? Having no other choice, move back. It might have an off against her, but try and shoot at it.
It will make an opportunity attack.
Yeah, heck it.
Just for
Go.
context, are there like people watching outside of the graph?
There are Cathars nearby. Their main task is to make sure that these things don't get out into the town. But yes, fairly big graveyard, but they can kind of see there's some flickering light enough for them to kind of make out kind of what's going on. But yes, these feelers are not quick enough as it's bursting out of the ground. Amrita is fast enough to kind of do like this backwards somersault and then plant herself with her bow.
Yeah, she'll just like yell, "Stay alive!" and gonna try and shoot at this one. So yeah, I still don't want to set it on fire, not yet. So just regular shot.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. 9 piercing.
Magical bonus added from the forge magic. Shot right into this thing's breaking the carapace. As Cillian, you're up. Val is still very paralyzed right next to you.
Okay. I'll stay here. Having just done the stab, I grab my other with my left hand and just try to push it in. Do I need the D4?
That you can, although it's not necessary because it is bloodied. So, yep.
Uh-huh. Okay, and I try to...
It is stabbed, and you pull the blade out quickly. Another splash of blood onto the ground. It's still kind of like screeching and moving around. It's kind of let Val go, and it's flailing at this point, but it's still technically alive.
I'll use my bonus action for an offhand.
Okay.
Stab it in like the same place and try to rip it apart.
Mm-hmm.
For 2 damage.
Nice. Still in single digits, but still also slightly alive.
Oh my god.
Asuriel, this is your moment. This thing is close to dying. You see, if you can get it, it will not be able to attack your friends.
probably fire a bolt on it again.
Roll more than a 1.
Hey.
It had 2 HP left.
Yay!
This final burst of fire hitting it in its wounds, the inside start to burn up, and again, like a bug under a magnifying glass, this thing just starts to wriggle and fall over in the dirt.
Gonna hide again. That's really gross.
That one is dead. The one with the half its face and mandibles all ripped off and melted rushes forward, trying to lodge its feelers in the gaps of Acrio's splint, trying to get around his shield arm. However, you are easily able to batter it back, and it cannot do that. It will, however, use its bonus action on this turn to make 1 bite attack against a paralyzed creature within its reach.
Ooh.
Which would have advantage, actually, because paralyzed creatures do. So 19, I'm not sure exactly what...
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to have you roll a d20.
Because crit.
Watch me decapitate myself.
Other arm.
Oh my god.
Oh,
This is going to be on the poison damage,
'Tis but a flesh wound.
and it's going to be twice as much damage as normal. Its normal damage would be 2d4, so this will have an additional 2d4 poison on top of that. So an additional 7. That's 22 points of damage.
Okay. That hurts. Okay, yeah.
And it moved about 15 feet. The remainder of its movement, it is going to begin burrowing down into the hole created by this first one that came up and moving down into the earth. It's not quite far enough out of reach, but it is going to have half cover. While this other one that Amrita had attacked, it will dash to get up to her, but that will be all it can do this turn.
Okay.
With an extra burst of speed, all these caterpillar-like legs along its body as it wriggles across the ground toward you. Acrio, you're up, seeing this one with half a face start tearing and poisoning at what's his face? The guy.
Missing arm guy.
Yeah.
I hesitant hand. I can't do it. I cast Lesser Restoration on it.
He's like, ah!
Ooh.
Poisoned.
Yeah. So unpoisoning him would unparalyze him, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, it removes both conditions because, yeah,
got it.
one is a result of the other.
So I will do that, and then I will cast Serum. No, I won't cast Serum Smite because that's concentration. That will be my turn. I will actually move, flank this fucker.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, it is down in the ground. The 3 of you who are next to it, it would have half cover. I think the ones who are at a distance, it's full cover. You can't even see it.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'm at a distance. I can't.
Yeah,
see
you saw it
right?
wriggle down into a hole, but from the angle you can't see that it's really got any. You don't have an angle for anything.
Got it.
Unless you get closer.
Yeah, I might. Yeah, fuck it. I got new armor. I'm gonna charge out. Put it to good use, boys! Kind of want to be repetitive, but Night Terror's doing work.
I mean, you've got it up.
Yeah, I do. So, yeah, it's kind of... she kind of, like, almost treads on it a little bit as she runs up, and I will just direct it towards the new carrion crawler.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I love this. Yes!
Another natural one for them. Ooh.
Yeah. -4 is a lovely number. I hate it.
Mhm. Yes.
Then Val, as Acrio reaches out toward you, you feel this like vibrational, like almost a hum in your ears, and the sense that of this poison that has like seeped into your skin, a heavy dose of it, is suddenly expelled. You're still damaged, but you suddenly feel yourself able to move.
Okay. He will heal himself with the doctor's bag for 10 HP.
It's a good decision.
Drugs.
Yeah.
Still staying in position of kind of in the middle of all of this melee.
I'm in range of this guy next to Acrio, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So you are providing flanking as you're kind of a distraction for it, but at the same time,
then
you easily eat your face off.
Yeah, he'll stay. So
Okay, cool.
He'll be flanking. Yeah. Kind of just
On initiative count 20. Cillian, you're first to hear this static, whispery type sound start to increase as it's almost like a mist or a fog starts to rise up out of the ground. It's just everywhere in this graph. Suddenly it's not enough that you can't see through it. It's still a transparent mist, but these very vague faces start to appear and then vanish into this mist. There's this oppressive feeling of voices just saying like, get out, don't belong, disruptive, all these different things that are just like, the agitated geists here are displeased. They want to sleep and they can't because of everything that's going on.
People are blasting loud music at 3 a.m.
I'm getting an extraterrestrial noise complaint. Not extraterrestrial.
Why are we getting jumped from like everything?
Because
you guys let this linger for a long time.
Sorry.
You didn't handle it quickly, so things happen.
Being confronted with the consequences of my actions.
Well.
Mister.
I'm not saying anything.
No. Lorelei, real quick, could you post the components of Night Terror?
Yep.
Noted. Yes. Then in that case, Acrio and Cillian, odds or evens?
Odds.
Mine.
Okay, that actually works out rather well because I need Cillian to make a charisma saving throw.
Charisma?
Oh god.
This fog, disturbed by the amount of noise that's going on here, Val, right next to Cillian, you can see it like creeping up like a hand that starts to like go over his mouth. And Cillian, you can start to feel this presence going down into your lungs. You are unable to speak or make any verbal sound for the next minute. You can make another charisma save at
That's like horrible for me.
to break the effect early.
Amrita's like, how do I harness this ability?
What was the last thing you said?
It requires an action to try to attempt another saving throw to end it early. So you are fortunately not hindered in terms of spell casting for that. But I had to check it to see if Lorelei was even making noises for hers, which she wasn't. So it didn't even think of her as a target. And Amrita, all of this fog has surrounded you while this thing is slithering, crawling toward your face. What are you doing?
Oh, crap. She's gonna try and eye bite and for this thing to fall asleep so she can try and get around it.
Okay. That's a wisdom save?
Yes.
Cool.
DC 14. Yes.
Yes.
And I'm just gonna go back over
You can almost hear a laughter inside your head of just like glee when this thing passes out in front of you.
So disturbing. Yeah, you know what? Just gonna run over here, use my full movement to get away, and see what the heck's going on over here while it's asleep for a minute.
Cillian, yeah, I don't know exactly what he would do in this moment. I would say this does not quite count as a creature, but there's definitely a presence here.
First off, I want to go here. Stab him? Miss. Yeah, makes sense.
You do have flanking with Acrio behind him, so roll really well.
Yeah.
That will hit.
Okay.
Get fucked.
Okay, so he just branches this right one, like dodges one attack, and in the dodge just slices across the chest. And then I'm rolling damage. And for his bonus action, because I think it would make sense, he wants to try to communicate with whatever is upset. Like, not necessarily by speaking, but sort of try to link with it in some way. It doesn't have to have any like effect on the battle per se, but that's just what we would do in this moment.
Make an Arcana check, but I'm going to say it's got disadvantage because you're not able to actually speak.
Makes sense.
Still pretty decent.
Yep.
You've dealt with geists for so much of your life, it's almost second nature. This isn't like any one particular spirit or even a collection of spirits per se. It's more like spirits affecting their will on an area. Even though they are not fully manifesting, they are manifesting their intentions of silence and just a severe agitation. Effectively, it's not quite an area effect. It's what's called a haunt, and haunts cannot be damaged. They cannot be dealt with in traditional means. As someone who has dealt with this before, you know they have to be exorcised. How you would go about doing that is up to Cillian. How he would think that would be done.
Okay. Now I won't leave it vanilla yet, but I'll stand here.
Sure. Moving up next to Acrio on the opposite
Acrio,
side.
like underway to Amrita to make sure she doesn't get. I don't know. That's his plan.
Asuriel left alone in the mausoleum. You can kind of hear these whispers now, and the fog is kind of starting to billow into the structure through the door.
She doesn't really like that. She popped her head back up to see what's going on. Still one big bug left.
Two, although I think one of them is, you can kind of hear it, but it's behind this tree over here.
Yeah, I can't see. Oh, okay, it's very faintly see.
Yeah, you can kind of see the angle of it, but it's not really moving too much.
Well, we're gonna continue with that fire bolt that seems to be working fairly well.
Pew, 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 pew.
Continues to do so.
Pursue.
These creatures are rather large, imposing targets, but also easy enough to hit like the broadside of a barn.
And we're not just gonna stay there.
I think, Asuriel, you would also innately get the feeling of this semi-geist-like presence, and just the idea that it's not something you're going to be able to deal with by throwing fire at it and things like that. It's, there's got to be some other means, but you have to consider that.
Yeah, she kind of shivers and looks around. It's like one problem at a time. Right now, there's big worms. Kill the worms.
Comes back out of the ground, turning toward Acrio and Cillian, who's attempting to flee. Its feelers are going to lash out at Cillian's feet as he's running.
My scream is choked.
You just only need to take 2 points of poison damage as your foot is caught. Was that supposed to be a disadvantage?
No, it wasn't.
Okay, well then with a 15, you yank your foot out. You feel yourself like trip, like as your nerves shudder somewhat, and you almost can't move for a second, but you stumble out of it, unable to scream even. Nothing is paralyzed, so that is the end of its turn. The other one is just still asleep on the ground.
Yeah, me hit hammer.
7. It is
Uh,
well into single digits at this point. You can smash the hammer down through its carapace, and it just like twitches and screeches, bending itself toward you, but still able to move slightly. Like if it had a skeleton, it would be broken, but its exoskeleton is instead crushed.
Yeah, and then I don't know, how's Val looking?
He isn't looking too bad.
Yeah, once he applies some of the anti-poison and toxin things to himself, he's still functioning fairly well.
Like on a scale of 1 to 40.
About a 31.
Okay, not worth it.
Triage, ladies and gentlemen.
Shut up. Yeah, that'll be my turn.
Would I get the vibes of this grapple? Like, would I feel it?
Oh, absolutely. Like, yeah, you are very much in tune with this just being. Like, it's weird because you're like, you almost go to use your eyes of the grave, but instinctually you know that it's on the border. Like, there's no exact undead presence, but there's just enough of these guys exerting their will in the area.
Do I know if turn undead would do anything in this moment?
You suspect it would probably help.
Right. I can't decide whether to do that or just kill this worm and get it over and done with quicker. You know what? I'm gonna do a Tristan. 1, I turn undead. 2, I just kill worm. Kill worm. Yeah, I'm just gonna try and end this as soon as possible, and I will keep this night terror assailing this poor creature.
Watch it roll in that 20 and still fail.
Don't manifest that, please. I rolled 1, so
Oh no.
takes 1.
Yeah, it's still slightly alive.
Yeah, I figured.
Its mind is shattered, its body is broken, but it's still flailing about. You can actually see it looks like it's about to burrow back into the ground.
Shit.
Yeah, then just gonna, help again by just, I guess in this case, just tackling into it, kind of pushing it to the side.
Nice. Yeah, it will. Body will twist, kind of broken. The plates, you can hear cracking in its back as it turns to kind of look at you with these insectile eyes.
Okay. Yeah, that will. Is anybody looking terribly injured?
Amrita, you see one of these hands coming out of the fog, kind of with a face behind it, and just through the mist. 14 is going to miss. This hand comes toward you, and you're duck around the side of it. You're not sure exactly what its intention was, but it was obviously not good.
I guess you could say it missed.
You could say that. As Amrita, you're up.
Wow. Probably by that point she would have noticed the fire a little bit more. I'm gonna try and shoot this thing. Maybe this time I will cast the Crimson Rite.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't want to do that, but just in case, because now things are a little dicey, and the other two aren't too toasty. Sorry, ignore the fire. That's not right. I was rolling my Hemocraft.
Yep.
I don't know why I
Yep, just the 2 for the Hemocraft.
Okay, so
damage you take
1,
to yourself.
2. Yep. She just does a cut of the wrist and shoot.
On like the upper part of the wrist, not the deadly part.
Yeah, not the deadly part.
Are you attacking the bloodied one or the one that's asleep?
I'm gonna attack the one that's asleep that's still healthy.
Does that count as a crit? I don't think so.
Wait,
no.
Hang on.
Not if you're not on a ranged attack. So yes, that's still gonna hit. 10 points. Nice. Does that wake it up?
Yeah, that would wake it up.
Okay, cool. Arrow in the back between the plates. You see it like jolt and shudder as it like twists backward, arcing its back, and then kind of like falls over facing the other direction as it twists on the ground toward you.
I want to move back a little bit.
I think, being fair, nothing would be on his mind except trying to help the ghosts in some way. he's a bit out of his depth because the way he usually deals with them is by talking to them.
Exactly.
But I just don't think he would have them. Yeah, I don't think he would attack. So I'm gonna pull out my cards.
Mm-hmm.
And use them sort of as like almost like a spell focus. I ignore the thing that is literally attacking me. I sit down on the ground. I pull out 3 and try to... what he's basically trying to do is go into the ethereal plane, but he doesn't really know that that is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But he's trying to sort of leave himself behind, I guess. Would I still have a bonus action on that, or do you think it would like take my turn to do this?
You would still have a bonus action.
All right.
I would say that can be your action.
No, wait. Actually, I'm not doing that. I'll actually disengage from him, move a bit there, and move here then.
Gotcha.
To do that, like sit on the thing I was standing on before.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of gone, but.
Okay, I'm going to have you make a religion check, but using your charisma. So you'll roll religion, but then whatever the difference between your intelligence and charisma mod is, you'll use that instead.
Okay, so I guess it would be +2 then.
So that's a total of 20. Okay. Yeah, using this Taroka deck, which you know many in your Vistani family use to portent the future, access knowledge that they shouldn't necessarily know from spirit guides. You let it instead kind of guide you. You're not able to exactly leave the physical plane, obviously, but just by drawing these cards, I'm not going to have you roll for them exactly, but just as you see them, you almost like see the faces of these spirits all start to kind of gather around you in the mist, staring down at what you're doing as well.
Okay.
And that counts as 1 success for an exorcism. As Asuriel, you're up.
I can try and kill this bug before he gets a crit on someone.
Mm-hmm.
So keep fireballing it. If the damage is still not enough, I'm gonna empower spell it.
Okay.
I think
That
you
is
have to
enough.
get closer to see it.
It had come out of the ground
Oh.
and moved to attack you guys, so it is not back in that hole. But yes. So yeah, 7 for sure.
And
Second one burns to death.
Oh, good.
That's 2 of them now. Yeah. Can't see it any better. Not really.
Man,
Yeah, it's gonna stay here for now.
I'm afraid the fire's gonna ruin that harvest maybe now. I don't know though. Crap.
Too late now.
Well, there's
But
one
Asuriel
Well,
more.
that's why one of them
didn't
she
catch
didn't
everything
set
on
fire
fire.
because, so the first one, yeah.
The last one, with an arrow in its back, moving toward Amrita, will then start to focus its head downward as its mandibles start to dig at the ground, and it will burrow under the earth.
Oh crap.
So I didn't see it.
You saw it went under the ground in this area.
Okay. Here, grab the torch. Start running.
Grab
so
the torch off this rotten meat lure, partially eaten, that you guys had set up. Starting to brandish it in the darkness.
Now, is there any sign of it whatsoever in the ground?
You can see the ground heaving in this general area. It's not close enough to the surface to really have like a direct trail, but you can see just like where it like lumps up and then goes down momentarily.
Okay, where it lumps up, I'm going to cast Ascending Flame just in the ground and try and explode the dirt because it ignores cover.
It ignores cover?
Yeah, target gains
But
no benefit
it's
from cover for this.
But it says a flame-like radiance burns a creature that you can see within range.
Fuck! Damn it.
So I think it's like 1/2 and 3/4 cover it ignores, because you can still see it there.
Yeah.
I mean, you can disrupt the dirt to kind of get it to not go that direction.
I will hold my action for an attack if it erupts near me.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as we know, there's only one left. As far as we are aware.
As far as you're aware, there's one of these graph worms and a host of spirit, geist-like wills exerted in the area that are partially focused now on Cillian and what he's doing, but not all of them, because they're not exactly creatures.
Yeah, it's like a fog.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like a haunting presence in the area.
In that case, I will go ahead and turn undead and just try and pacify them for the time being while we still deal with this.
Cillian had set up this little Vistani shrine outside the graph before all of this went down. And then with his focusing them in on himself, trying to, without even using words, which is very complex and difficult for him, push his will kind of into that ethereal plane. I think, Cillian, you would probably feel Rygan and some of your other relatives almost like guiding you, like pulling you along this tunnel is what it feels like. But even though you're stationary, it's like your mind is being moved elsewhere.
Cool.
And what is Lorelei's turn undead typically look like? What she obviously uses the symbol of Avacyn that she has.
Yeah, it manifests as almost kind of like a song. It's like a sort of reverse engineered like pieces of like angelic like hymns that she's heard, because she doesn't remember all of them, so she's kind of like retrofitted them to just work and just going off pure instinct. And so it's just kind
trial and error.
Yeah, it's just like, right, what song works? All right, take it from the top. a lot of rehearsals, but it's very much just like this methodic chanting while presenting her symbol like the entire time, and it's just kind of almost like trying to make like a beacon to just try and affect them and just try and get through to them.
A vague gray dim glow kind of comes from the crescent moon part of the symbol of Avacyn before the whole thing lights up as she is chanting this angelic hymn. And all of these geist presences in the fog start to seep back into the earth. They're not repelled exactly by the turn undead, but they are pacified as you had intended, as a turn undead counts as a third success. All of them return to blessed sleep, and the fog disappears from the graph.
Sleep.
Can I talk again?
You find yourself able to talk again, yes. And no more hands come out of any mist anywhere. You seem to have dealt with the haunt, the disturbed geists in this area. As Val, you are up. Doesn't seem as though anybody's particularly injured, and the last remaining graph worm has disappeared from sight, burrowed under the ground.
Yeah, I don't know. Move forward a bit. Probably dodging at this point.
Smart.
Say something, basically try to put out the fire of the other ones if they're still burning, because we don't want the bodies ruined, and then just try to look for this last one, but don't use fire on the last one. And I think she's just gonna have the eyeball back up over. She's gonna back up over here and then just try to see if she can scan and look for where there's movement.
This is going to be more of a vibrational perception check.
Okay.
So the eye will not, unfortunately, be able to assist, but you can make a perception check. You get the distinct impression it is moving away from the area where you are. It had gone this way, and you think it's now moving that way, which would be in the direction of Acrio and Val at this point.
Two better move out of the way. It's coming your direction.
I jump up onto this graph here, and I say, "Oh, Avacyn, I couldn't talk. You guys must have been so scared." And just sort of lock eyes with Lorelei. Good job. And I'll grab one of the needles from behind my ear, brandish it, and just ready in action until I can hit it. Because I can't really hide here. That doesn't make sense, right?
Right. Yeah, you're like right up on top of. Yeah. Like it can't see you, but it can still feel vibrational movements in the earth. So, Asuriel.
Gonna move to the other side of Lorelei and prepare Mind Sliver.
Just gonna totally ignore Amrita saying to put the bodies out. Okay.
Oh yeah, but maybe she gets to do that instead. She'll do that
I
instead.
was like, we need
Just
to
take like her cloak and I'm like,
Yeah, it's easy enough. They are smoldering, but you being the one who produced the fire, you're able to quickly put it out. This graph worm still has an arrow in its back, but it hasn't taken all that much damage, and it rips itself out of the ground just in front of the three lads, Cillian, Valerie, and Acrio. Cillian, you're able to make a throw that needle at it.
Sneak attack or no?
It's out of the ground far enough away from the others that it doesn't really
Makes
count
sense.
for that, but can get a quick hit on it as it is then going to charge toward the loudest, brightest source of anything here. And Acrio is going to be able to make his ready to action as well when he gets here. But at the same time, this creature is going to stick its feelers toward him.
Hello.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
I'm going. Can I use my own human determination against crits against me?
No, it's not. It's not like the lucky feat. However, this thing only does a D4 of poison, so it's probably we'll see. Go ahead and roll a D20. That's the exact same thing as what Val had got. So it'll be 2d4 poison. I hope you survive.
Ooh.
Still up.
The exact amount
Barely.
of voucher.
I'm fucking holding on.
But I will need you to make a sanity saving throw.
Oh wait, I don't even take damage because I have fucking temporary hit points. Sanity save. I'm gonna human determination that.
Do it.
Everybody
Fuck.
starts foaming.
Humans
at the mouth.
so determined, you like steel yourself. You're like, yes, I've got this. And then you go to move and you're like unable to move.
God, and it got to
Muscle.
attack before I got my fucking attack of opportunity.
No, it happens at the same time, so you still get like in the moment. You still get to
yeehaw.
make your attack of opportunity. Yeah. Yep.
Eris.
That happens right as you're then locking up. It's like hammer into its head, and then as you go to
Oh,
pull
right.
back, it's like
Oh wait.
it will use its bonus action because I forgot that was its thing to do that. So it does have advantage against a paralyzed creature. However, I think it still misses.
Yep.
Even though you are paralyzed, it doesn't quite register. It doesn't understand what shields and armor are. It just takes a massive bite out of you. These like saliva and mucus covered mandibles start scraping at your shield as it's like trying to get around the edge of it toward you. But even not being able to move, it doesn't quite reach your flesh just yet.
Oh good.
You can make a sanity save at the end of your turn.
Sick. Now my hubris in helping someone else.
You became a halfling. You can now reroll that.
Hey, at least he doesn't have any dark gifts that make him go insane.
Yeah.
So Lorelei, off to the side, you've completed this undead turning chant, and then suddenly something burst out of the ground and started tearing at Acrio's shield.
Yeah.
Don't take my
Cool.
arm off again, please.
Just you hear this ripping sound like stitches.
Oh no. gonna get a dry socket in your arm somehow.
Ew.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do something about that actually. I'm gonna run up over Nya, just grab onto his shoulder, be like, snap out of it immediately, and I will lesser restoration.
Yay!
And unpoisonify, unparalyzify him.
Nice. Your
And just bonus
method is a
action
little
and,
bit choppier than Acrio's that he had used on Val. His was a little more streamlined and trained, but yours serves the same function as Bruna's magic is channeled through you, and the poison is purged.
Yes.
Instead of me like delicately like pulling it out of Val, I just like throw it up.
Yeah, just get it out, buddy.
Vomits directly into the face of this creature.
Deals poison
As
damage.
Val, you're up.
Okay, just gonna, skedaddle around this guy and keep him in the meantime to do a little bit of helping.
Mm-hmm.
And that will be me.
Amrita, you see they weren't quick enough to dodge out of the way when you felt the creature moving their direction. However, some of them were prepared, and now you see it's somewhat distracted. You have an opening.
Alright, yep, I'm gonna go over here, skedaddle, and stab.
Keep in mind you still have a magic bow. Magic
know
weapon is still active.
Yes, but she doesn't want to.
Actually,
Set
is
it
magic weapon a concentration spell?
Yeah, I do
You
have
took some damage there.
Ooh, just keep it.
It's barely magic. It's right on the edge of not being magic, but it still is.
Yeah, I'm not gonna use it because I don't want to catch this thing on fire, so I'm just gonna stab it. Ass, man. Ugh, 9 slashing.
Even without magical weapons, you're pretty good with this saber.
Acrio starts speaking enchantment table.
Yes. Why is that?
You cut through some of this carapace, these plates that are all layered over one another. It's not quite enough to cause it to bleed a lot, but you kind of like hacked off a portion of its outer exoskeleton. As Cillian, yeah, you see it very distracted at this point.
Yeah, I just run up in it. No, I jump from the graph I'm on, and with both of them brandished, I just and I attack it. So I guess I can't really get, or is it like technically flanked now anyway? Doesn't really.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, and also, actually, Amrita. Here, I'll say, Amrita didn't need it, so I'll let you use Val's help. So you can roll that again for the advantage.
Sure. Thank you.
Yeah.
That'll hit.
So I almost fade again.
And bonus action offhand.
No, bonus action I'll use sneak in the attack.
Okay, nice.
So as I do, I kind of stab around him as I'm jumping, and then pull him towards me so his belly is like up for the
Gotcha. As you do that, everyone behind him, Val and Amrita, you're both hit with this spray of viscera, blood across both of your faces. As there is a weak point exposed, Asuriel.
Hit it with fire.
You
I'll
finished
end your life. You demon.
Yeah, you finished putting the others not on fire.
Right, well, there's only one other option then, and that's Might Sliver, so let's hope that goes well. Is an intelligence saving throw? Yes, intelligence.
It's
Yay.
big
Wish.
stupid. It's big stupid.
No thoughts, head empty.
Might Sliver, and how does it look like it's about to die?
Not really.
Okay,
I mean, it's bloodied, obviously, but not like on the verge of collapsing. Still wriggling under, with Cillian holding its neck back. Its body is still like twisting and like flipping over itself. It is a big stupid bug. It's gonna try to paralyze Cillian because Cillian's the one got it in a death grip.
Cillian jumped off the fucking ropes like this is wrestling.
Yeah, that hits.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Take a point of poison damage, and I need to make a sanity save.
This last one is really ride or die.
Well, temporary hit point. Okay. Yeah, sanity save.
Not quite enough. You've still got it held in a position, and it's too stupid to realize that now it's also kind of locked in this vulnerable position with you because it's a bug and it doesn't understand things. So yeah, Acrio, its
Hello.
underbelly is exposed.
Just gonna move into position. Really? Hey, Bada Bada. I'm just going to slap a frightful strike on that. And then kablam.
Roll again because you have advantage, so you might crit.
Oh, yeah. No.
It's a hit regardless.
So it takes 7 plus 4 plus 3 sneak attack and 1d4 plus 6 damage extra.
So that's 20 total.
Yeah.
It had fewer than 20 hit points left. How do you want to end this?
Yeah. Just nice and keep it intact for Amrita. Just fucking as it's on its belly, just like go for whatever could be considered its neck and just crack it across its head and just snap its whatever carapace is there into like a very weird twitch broken position.
It succeeded on the wisdom save, so it's not afraid. Its bug-like eyes are like burning in determination as it's seeing this hammer come down onto it, and while its last remaining thoughts might have been of survival and getting out of this, they do not manifest, as the lower part of its, like, just below the neck and what would be like a chest area are just concaved completely in a burst of sparks.
Yeah.
And as far as all of you can tell, there are no more threats in this area. Amrita, you can kind of survey, make sure there's no movement in the ground, listen. There's no more scratching. There's no more grinding. There's no more chewing sounds under the earth. What you do hear, however, off to the side of the graph,
It's gonna be fucking Cooper, ain't it?
it's the Cathars.
Oh.
Though they didn't get a good view of everything, they are aware of what you have done.
Can you get this stuff? And I like hand the vials over to Val and Amrita.
As he's got this weird like mucus on him.
Yeah.
Probably just like wipe the vial along your arm and collect
We'll
it.
try to retrieve survivor, I guess.
You three, whoever's going to do this, you can make a nature check for each one of these creatures.
All right.
Lie.
So
Yeah, I
should I
gotta-
just roll a? I'll make
Yeah,
one.
let's
help.
just do one each. Yeah.
Yeah, they already see. Just like not even just like yeah, give me the vial. And like before she's like he's even given anything to Val, she just precision cut. Oh, thank God, the fire didn't notice.
You do have to be careful, Amrita, because you broke that glass in your hand earlier, so there are a few cuts in your gloves. So even with that, you have to make sure none of this can seep through those cuts onto your skin. But you obviously collect the most, severing these tendrils and just filling the vials with this like heavy yellow viscous material. I would say with all that, Val picks up a few and Cillian gets some off of his armor, just to try to clean himself off without touching it. He's able to fill one as well, but with all that, you guys are able to collect all 10.
Yeah, fuck it. I'm sorry.
Right.
And as all of these vials are kind of collected up, corks on, ready to go, with the Cathar starting to move into the graph and survey the damage and deal with everything else in the aftermath, that's where we're going to drop the curtain on this week's session.
Okay.
Get wrecked,
Oh,
fucking worms.
Yes! We're gonna get paid!